Hello everybody and welcome to the Sunday Sequence Break. It's episode 63, which is a square number.
Huh.
It is, right, PJ?
What?
Yeah.
Sure it is.
It's
great.
Of course.
It is. It's the square of a little under 8. That's
Yeah. I think you'll find it's 6 squared, which is why it's the VVVVV week, which is Roman numerals for nothing.
Oh,
That's not
man,
how Roman
my head
numerals
hurts
work.
real bad. I think
Look at all these references, Conspiracy Man, Black Helicopters, or whatever. But hey, what's up? Sunday Secrets Break. We're trying VVV. Third time lucky. We've made a rule, if it goes wrong here, they're never coming back.
ever.
But
we have to destroy them because their karma is too powerful.
we've got to get
And
rid of
the
them.
current stream picture is completely accurate to this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I agree.
As usual, we have lovely Mr. PJ, who's here today.
Hello.
Yep, we got the talented Mr. Feasel.
That sounds like a movie with a good car chase in it.
Does there have a car chase in that movie?
No, probably not. It should.
Damn.
It's a horse and buggy.
Absolutely not here is Duckfist, but that's okay. I'm here though. That's not okay.
It's like a consolation prize, kind of.
It is. It's like when you go to somebody's house and they got all these medals and rosettes and that, you're like, wow, and then you realize they're all the, like, you competed rosettes.
Yeah.
Participation trophies.
Yeah, exactly.
Except, like, this is a consolation prize that you have to, like, feed and take care of. So not only do you not want it, but then it's more responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of consolation prizes, our 2 guests this week is Fiery Blizzard.
Hey guys.
Yep, he's our 2 guests. So, there's also Tranquilite here, who, as we discussed earlier, is a mineral that's tranquil.
Or
Right?
that makes you tranquil.
Or that makes you tranquil.
Right.
Something like that. In like a nice way, in like a nice, simple way. Have it out on your table, makes you feel a bit more relaxed. It's good. I'm glad we got that all out of the way. Speaking of getting stuff out of the way, PJ, you're first. What have you been doing this
Oh,
week?
boy.
You get out of the way.
So, yeah, let's get this out of the way so we can start
This
the
show's
show.
a car chase, or that's the theme of the show.
So, Mac Rector and I have been playing a lot of TMNT 3, which is a lot of fun. And we were on pace. We were like a minute ahead of PB, and then my internet cut out halfway through the run.
Oh, no.
So that run was lost.
Wait, hang on a minute. Your internet cut out.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, it's true.
Unbeliever.
It's like the
crazy.
second time it's ever happened, and it stayed out for the entire night. It was
Now, hang on. Did you just sit there trying to refresh the internet, or did you go and do something else?
well, I kicked the router, and then
What else would he do that doesn't involve internet, though? I don't get this question.
right, yeah. I mean, I charged my phone, and then I yeah. So, anyways, we missed our PB, which is a shame. But we'll do better. So I worked on some single player routing of that, which is cool. At some point, I'm gonna go after Vadava's run and see how that goes. And I did some more Solstice. Made absolutely no progress with any %. Although, actually, no, I was 2 frames slower than my PB.
Hang on, I'm
Wonder
scared because you said with any %, and you specifically said there with any %.
Right.
Are you implying something?
Well, yeah, I started learning 100% yesterday. Which is really fun. It's a really good category so far. The task is ridiculous, and most of the stuff is impossible for a human, but I've been finding some nice workarounds thanks to my chat. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right. Feasel, what have you been doing?
Oh my. This week, I actually started doing actual runs of Darkwing Duck for some time. I had mostly just been practicing it, but I finally was able to put everything together and get a few decent runs. I'm getting close to 14. I think I cut 14 or something the other day, like that at the end of my stream at some point. So that's pretty close to where I want to be. Let me see. Not much else. I played Swords and Serpents at random. I just
God.
went on a Swords and Serpents kick. I don't know why that happened.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there's no good.
We already lapse from time to time, Feasel.
Sometimes you just like wake up and it's just you got Swords and Serpents on the brain.
Yeah. Sometimes you have morning wood, sometimes you have Swords and Serpents on the mind. That's right.
Got it. And then, for no reason whatsoever, I decided I was gonna like casually play Willow, and then I was up all night and I had a route by the next morning. And so that's what I've been doing yesterday.
I don't know what happened, man. Like, I remember turning it on, and then I woke up next to this route, like printed out, double spaced.
Yeah, I've got like an 8-page document now, and I don't know where those 10 hours went.
With annotations and corrections.
Yep.
Yeah. Feasel confirmed most powerful drug. Started playing something casually, and I don't remember what happened, but I have a run.
And now I feel like there's something missing from my life.
Yeah. So, like, way early this morning when I should have been sleeping, I actually did a run that beat MTI's SDA run. But it was a terrible run. I even died in it. But just there was enough routing improvements that it doesn't really matter how well I play.
Wow.
It's always a nice time in speedrunning again.
Yeah, mistakes are...
When you die more times than you did in your last run, but still beat it, that's the good moment. That's when it's really...
That's basically the story of running this game.
Yeah. As for myself, I fully intended to do some
oh no
Metal Gear Rising runs, but then I thought, you know what, let's do nothing all week, so I did nothing instead.
Well done.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You know, it's just one of those weeks when you're like, man, I should... When you're procrastinating playing video games, you know something's really wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how you procrastinate. What the hell's worse than that?
I know. Like, being hungry but being too lazy to walk to the kitchen to get food. I think that's a step below procrastinating video games.
That's pretty bad. When you're, like, waiting... I mean, my problem is when I'm waiting to find a stream I want to watch. So I go watch stream... what do they call it? Broadcast, like previous broadcast videos.
Mm.
That's when I realize I'm doing something really wrong. When I'm like, man, there's nobody on to watch. I guess I'll go watch what PJ did 6 months ago. Oh boy, a 14-hour broadcast. That'll keep me entertained.
Yeah.
And then I'll just casually forget it wasn't live and start telling people to like go check out PJ's stream right now.
Yeah. Why isn't the chat loading? This is
I'm
dumb.
like typing in a chat and there's no responses. Yeah.
Or you pretend that he's responding to what you're typing.
What I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
It really freaked me out because in one of them I was in it already. I'd already seen it. It's hey Flicky, hey PJ, what's going on?
Wait, what?
No, not much. This Sunday sequence break idea sounds cool though. We should do it. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Fiery Blizzard. What have you done since last week when you were here as well?
2 weeks ago. But,
2 weeks. Yeah, right.
Still more work and broke 2 more records that one of them I was not expecting at all. The other one I was kind of expecting. So, not too bad. Haven't really been streaming a lot just because I just, as usual, just kind of too tired to really bother with it. But we'll get there.
Cool. And Mr. Tranquil, right?
I've just been going to school.
Oh, sucks. You lose.
Yep, pretty much.
You lose this. I worked all week and you still lost.
Flicky was too lazy to play video games. That's...
Ouch. Feel bad for you. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to. It's just that... Well,
it's coming from a guy who's too lazy to even watch video games live.
Let's put it this way. I have a bit of chicken that I ate here earlier, and the bone is resting on a handkerchief because I didn't get a plate, and I haven't gone and put it in the kitchen.
You don't just eat over the sink?
That's my day-to-day.
I threw a plate away the other day because I forgot where to put it when I was done. It's just, where do plates go? The garbage can or the sink or the
If
dishwasher?
you do that thing that I do, where you're like, they're clearly shaped to fly.
They should go somewhere.
Dishes are done,
Right.
man.
No, sometimes like I just forget where to put things because like habit. Like I put a plate down the laundry chute one day.
But it was fine because his pants were on it already. So.
We better move on.
Hey, speaking of on, this game has you walking on things. It's VVV. VVV. Am I saying that right? Is that right?
I think we're
That's
just
how
going
the
to call it V, right? So we decided on like a year ago.
V? Okay, so this is called V. So the second... Wait, which V's are silent? Is it the second 5, or is it more complicated than that?
It's a mix.
It's a mix, okay.
I don't think there is an official pronunciation. I think Terry officially decided that he wanted you to make as many weird sounds as you could kind of pronounce it. So maybe something like...
See, I know
that's my
about that at
favorite.
first.
I like that
Yeah.
one.
I like that one. So we're gonna not repeat that because we can't do it. But it's as you know, third time we tried this. This is a really, really, really good game with the best soundtrack since some other game. Just so I don't upset anybody. Right?
The best sales pitch. This
the
is
best
the best
soundtrack
game
since
you've ever
that-
played since that other game that you like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to upset anybody, do I? Or start a silly argument in the chat. But as we do not have any notes here, we're just going to wing it
Weird.
and
Only going
say, hey, Tranquilite, how would you describe this game to people? What is this game?
It is a short, gravity-based platformer with 0 RNG.
Mohawk?
I
Man, I
feel
can
like I
play
should
this.
mock you for saying gravity-based, but it actually describes it pretty well. Yeah, it's got, is it Atari something or another style graphics? An awesome chip-tuned soundtrack?
Oh yeah, definitely. The soundtrack composed by Souleye is the
Yeah.
best part of it.
I think it's based on the Commodore system, actually.
Oh, my apologies.
I think the elephant actually comes from a Commodore game.
There's also lots of dying. I think it would be remiss of us not to mention that. It's one of those ones where you're meant to die a lot.
Yep.
But yeah,
Even in a run, you die 15 seconds into it.
but that's on purpose.
But they're nice short loop deaths, though. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
They're really nice.
really nice.
Problem is, Captain Viridian gets really sad, and he doesn't get unsad for a while. It's the
Unsad.
worst part about this run. I think you'll find there's no word for that in English, so... Right. Yeah, Tranquilite, you've been running this game for a while, so I think you're also the guy to tell us about the speedrun history of this one. Because it has actually come quite a long way.
Yeah. I initially picked up the game back in forever ago, probably 2011 sometime. It was mostly just me, and then I posted some terrible runs on the forums, and then Exploding Cabbage showed up and told me that it was terrible and that I should redo it, and so I did, and it eventually got better from there.
Responds well to criticism.
Yep. Noted.
I mean,
So if you
started
don't
with
like-
kind of the,
If you don't
The
like one of his
segmented runs.
responses, just yell at
I
him.
feel like responds well to criticism should be a room name in this game. It's got that vibe to it. But then, Fiery, you came along.
yeah, it came along kind of quite a bit after Tranquilite posted his segmented runs. So the history of this game came out 1.2, which didn't really have too much in it in terms of skips. In fact, it actually had no skips in it. And then 2.0 came out, and with the inclusion of player levels, they included the way to kill yourself, which opened up a lot of the glitches in this game. And it wasn't until last year, probably August, where we found the biggest sequence break we do in a run. to skip the Gravitron. So we knew that we could skip Violet's cutscene. Tranquilite found that. And then a couple of months later, someone by the name of Unpronounceable found out a way to completely skip an intermission and completely destroy the game.
Sorry
So
about the way you said that. Is his name actually unpronounceable?
Yes.
As in, that's physically what his name
his
is
name.
written.
Yeah.
As, so
Yes.
Right.
His name is
It sounded like
unpronounceable.
you were essentially saying someone by the name of this isn't actually his name.
No, that was actually his name.
Yeah.
And then, so we kind of ran on that in a while, and by a bunch of people, I pretty much mean myself, because at that point, Tranquilite really didn't run this game. And,
Yeah.
and then I kind of stopped for a good 6-7 months, and then the task came out this March, which got me back into running this game. And that's kind of where we are now.
Awesome. Tell me about records and categories.
Alright, so there's technically 4 categories, but one of them's never going to actually exist. So there's the any percent, which is playing right now. We just go through the game as fast as possible. There's 100% where we get all 20 trinkets in the game that are located randomly. That's about 4 or 5 minutes slower than the any
We
percent.
need to clarify that one. They're not actually located randomly.
Yeah.
Not, yeah.
Oh god,
They're-
where is it? This one's
they're
underneath
located-
spikes.
I can see that happening, but there are a lot of spikes in this game.
Yeah.
Then there's no death mode, which the only reason why that's a category is because it shows, I guess, the way the game is meant to be played. Considering you're not allowed to do any sequence breaks because those basically force you to die. So there's any percent and 100% no death mode, but no one's ever going to do 100% no death mode because it's just
Do you not have
ridiculous.
to die for that trinket?
No, you
They
don't.
removed the spikes on the ceiling for the no
Oh,
death
really?
mode. And they changed the name of the room too. I can't believe you made it this far.
Oh.
And those are the only runs you're actually going to see the Gravitron. So,
Which is not a problem, really. I mean, it's an auto
I mean-
scroller.
Seen one.
but it's not an
Gravitron.
auto scroller, it's just,
Exactly, yeah.
it's a minute of you have to dodge a bunch of shit coming your way. And
Mm.
for
There's
most
the
people, it's
super
probably the
Gravitron.
toughest part.
Can you
I
endure
died
this
on the
harsh training?
tower more than the Gravitron, actually.
Huh.
That's my thing. But it was nice. You didn't have to survive a whole minute. You could sort of round up.
Yeah. So in the regular game, what happens is it saves every 5 seconds. So
Yeah.
if you die in the middle of the Gravitron, it just goes up to the nearest 5
Pretty
seconds.
smart, right?
And what actually happens is after you die 5 times in the Gravitron, the enemies get more spaced out, so it becomes easier the more you die on it.
Casual mode, that is, clearly. I remember playing it in the hard difficulty. Ugh. But anyway, so tell us about general stuff in this game. What's the general techniques for playing through V?
I mean, mostly it's what you see. You just do a lot of precise movements and you flip at pretty precise points. One of the things that you kind of don't see a lot is how slip the movement is. So when you let go of a button, Viridian will still slide over, which can really screw with you. And in fact, that's kind of the reason why we're able to do a couple things. Just a couple of tricks, mostly in 100%. But there are a couple of other things that you don't necessarily can see from a video standpoint. Like, you have one frame off the platform where you can flip. That's something else that also comes from 2.0. It's not possible in 1.2. Basically, the gist of it, of running this game, is that 1.2 isn't broken, and then when they released 2.0, it just became really, really broken really fast. So it turns out just a higher version of the game actually just created the whole mess.
The
The game was
unpatched.
So, yeah, this 2.0 has looser physics than 1.2.
Yeah, the reason why is because they ported the game from Flash to C++ so that they could, get a Linux release and whatnot.
And then eventually released to 3DS, although that was well after the fact. Because 2.0 came out in, I think, Humble Indie Bundle number 4, so that was 2 years ago? maybe not that long ago.
Something
Came
like
out a while ago. But this part is really cool in the any percent run, so it's the escort mission, and by really cool I mean it's absolutely obnoxious. So basically what happens is the red guy Vermilion moves whenever you're on the ground, and his movement, basically his velocity, is dependent on how far away you are from the escort. So by manipulating your movement basically exactly the way you need it, you can kind of take a path that's not really intended. So in the room not as I do, you're intended to go underneath into the alcove and flip back and forth to get him to go across.
You
But
can
if you
just die there, yeah.
if you're really, really precise about it, you can actually get Vermilion and Viridian to go on top of it, and that saves about 4 seconds. But it's actually really difficult because what happens is if you're too far right at any point of the platform, then Vermilion won't be able to gain enough speed to get onto the platform itself. So you have to make sure you go from like the absolute left side of a platform to the absolute right side of each platform. It's the only way you can do it. It's really obnoxious. That's something
It's really hard even just to do that middle flip, really. I find it hard anyway.
It's one of the few things I picked up from the tasks. There are quite a few
It's
things.
one of the many reasons why I can't really find it in me to go back to speedrunning this game.
Another really big trick in this, and by really big, it's not too big, but I don't know if Trinklite, you want to speak about this, the line clips?
Oh yeah, the line clips.
Those are funky.
In the lab, they have these horizontal lines that will, flip gravity, for you whenever you hit them. But if a line is close enough to a regular surface, you can pretty much mash the flip button to go up and pass through it, so you clip through the line. There's a few rooms where you can pull that off.
Yeah, so what we found out from the task, which Master John released in March, is that the proper way to do a line clip is you press flip, and then 2 frames later you press flip again. And so like before I really knew about that, I was really inconsistent at mashing, and then I kind of learned that fact, and I've gotten a lot more consistent at it. I can normally hit it first try. Because otherwise Trinklite normally just yells at me for not being able to do line clips.
So how do you go about doing it now? Do you have a...
Yeah, I just press up and V, which are both flip buttons. And
2 frames apart? Simple.
yeah, 2 buttons, 2 frames apart. So if you go back to Gordian Knot, which kind of just passed, is probably the hardest part of this whole any percent run, because it's straight from the task. You have a frame or two to get to flip over under the platform, and then you have exactly a frame to flip onto the conveyor belts to dodge those enemies, and that frame is completely dependent on your momentum, which is dependent on when you actually start moving underneath the platform, which is dependent on how well you flip underneath the platform. So it's a whole bunch of bullshit, and my strat for that was basically just hope. Just hold left and hope I hit the frame. Like, I think on a good day I had a 5% consistency at hitting that trick.
Nice.
Maybe. You have exactly 1 frame, and the frame changes depending on your momentum, which is a pretty good summary of a lot of these tricks. So coming up here is probably the biggest, it is the biggest sequence break of the game. It's the Gravitron skip. Do you want to talk about it, Trinklite?
Yeah, sure. All you have to do is when, the pink one says, Captain, you can advance the, the text, but if you press the button to kill yourself at the exact same time, it kills yourself, and it allows you to move during the end of chapter cutscene. And typically, after you save that crew member, you're supposed to go into a nice long dialogue where it shows where all the other crew members are. But instead, you just skip it and you move on. And so, if you do that when you're normally supposed to go into an intermission, you never get moved to the intermission. So you effectively just skip the Gravitron, and you can just go on and rescue other crew members.
Yeah, so what happens basically is if you continue through the cutscene, the game actually becomes unbeatable because all your crew members become unrescued and they don't appear back in their regular positions. So if you miss that trick, your run's done. You have to exit the game to even make it beatable again. So it's you just have to hit flip, which I use V, and you have to hit R on the same frame. It's a pretty easy trick once you do it. You don't really miss it too often because you don't have to actually mash, and we know kind of how to do it. But like I said, if you miss it, the run's over, and that's happened a couple times, and it's kind of depressing when it happens if you're ahead because you can't even salvage it if you miss it. It's the single segment's just over. So the reason why we can even kill ourselves, I don't think we ever got to, and it's a pretty big thing with both the any percent and the 100% runs. So when 2.0 came out, there was the inclusion of player levels, and these player levels are really buggy. If you go to the SGDQ 2012 videos, you'll see Tranquilite run through those, and you can get stuck on walls pretty easily. So they included this way to basically not have to exit the game, which was the R button to kill yourself. The problem was they didn't mean for it to be staying in the main game. So by basically creating those player levels and including that function and forgetting to take it out of the main game, that's what really broke this game wide open.
Nice.
Wow, first of all, it's funny that they introduce exploitable glitches in later versions as opposed to the opposite, which is usually the case. And that was there in the first place because the game was so buggy to begin with that it was their quick workaround. So it's like a double whammy.
Yeah,
but you never got the option. 1.2 didn't come with player levels. 2.0 was the first version to have player levels, so that feature never actually existed because there was no need for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the main game is actually quite stable, but the new player levels that you can make yourself, are, you can make all kinds of horrible situations that you can't escape from. So they just tossed in the workaround kill yourself button.
People aren't very good at making levels like this. They just tend to try and make the hardest possible thing they can. It usually breaks and you die.
And that's why there's 8,000 Super Mario World hacks and only 3 of them are playable.
Yeah. We played a mini golf game the other day, Exolemon, Dave and I, and it was like that. It was a fucking mess. But that's a story for another time.
But, so there are a couple other things you can do in player levels. If there is a screen that wraps around, you can move back and forth between the wrap, and the game will actually force you out of bounds. So you just kind of fall in space if there's nothing to the right or the left of that room. Like I said, you can, if you go to the SGDQ videos, you'll see that glitch a lot. Alright, so I should probably explain that end screen, or more importantly, that hardest room 50 deaths to tower. So, So the game keeps track of how many times you've died since you've opened the game itself. And every time I reset, I don't close out the game completely because that's just a waste of time. But it'll keep track of these deaths. And so when you complete the whole game, it will get the hardest room counter from all the rooms you've died in, and it will take the number from how many times you've died since you've opened the game. So when it said the hardest room with the tower was 50 deaths, that means I died on the tower 50 times since I opened the game.
So you could go in the very first room and mash the suicide button for 10 minutes before every attempt session?
I could. So the hardest room has to be a room that you died in during that run. That's the one stipulation behind it. And the total deaths is actually accurate. So I did die 11 times during that death, or that run, which is actually the amount we wanted to do because 11 deaths is optimal. You die once in the beginning to skip the tutorial level Space Station 1. You die 6 times in the tower. All those are death abuses, and you'll see them you'll see 4 of them in this 100%. And those death abuses save 5-ish of a second every time you do them. And shoutouts to Blecky, who was the one who gave us kind of the positions of where we should basically do a leap of fate to hit the checkpoint. Because otherwise, I didn't used to do those tower abuses, and Bucky came in and was like, why aren't you doing them? I'm like, because I just am not consistent at all. And he just came back the next day and had a bunch of pictures showing them.
Yeah, Bucky's great.
Seems like people were very mean to you when you ran this game. They just like made you do stuff.
God, why are you playing this game so badly? You should get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
No,
Well, why don't you run it? I don't want to run it. Fuck
Yeah.
you. You just
Shut
get
up.
better.
You do
I
it.
want you to run it.
I'm
really well.
helping you.
well, there's a story behind the 100% too that you'll see in about 3 minutes. The Edge Games kind of deal. Trinkle kind of forced that on me. I'll
Well,
have
yeah, it's
him
not too
explain
hard.
that.
I did it in my segmented run. How come you can't do it in a single segment? It's not that hard. I was pretty consistent when I was doing that segment.
And I'll have you explain that when it comes up. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to explain that because I don't want to. And you forced me to do that. But like in terms of like the route differences, any percent, so kind of to compensate the decrease in difficulty in 100 or any percent to 100%, I just add a lot more task tricks so that any percent is more annoying than 100%.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. The problem was I actually did get like a nearly perfect any percent run, so it's not going to be beaten. So now I'm forced doing 100%, which isn't really that fun. I got bored of it after the first couple nights. I'm just getting frustrated with it. This run right now has 2 deaths in the same room.
2 unintentional deaths.
2 unintentional deaths in the same room. So any percent has
7
11.
intentional rooms. That's in the same room.
So, well, there's 4 in the tower this time, but so any percent, as I said, has 11 intentional deaths, and 100% has 21. And the difference between any percent and 100% is because we're able to kill ourselves, we can go back to a checkpoint faster, and because a lot of the trinkets are out of the way from a checkpoint, by killing ourselves, we actually just save quite a bit of time. That's why I don't think 100% no-death mode is really worth it, even if people were actually good enough to do it. Is because all that time that you'd be saving by skipping cutscenes in no-death mode, it would come back because you have to walk back from every trinket. And there's one in the lab particular that's just absolutely obnoxious to get back from. Unobtainium, the last trinket in the lab. So this section right now is called the warp zone. So basically, if you look at the background, you can kind of, it'll show you which way the screen is wrapping, although it's pretty obvious by the room design. And this is where the Edge Game trinkets is. And so if you want to explain that, Trinklet.
Yeah, sure. So there's the Edge Games one where they want you to run back and forth across the screen while these little Pac-Man type enemies, you have to try and get between them a certain way. But the collision detection on the edge of the screen is a little bit wonky. So if you time it just right, you can walk through enemy sprites without having to, dodge them. It's not frame perfect, but it's still pretty tricky.
Yeah, so if you're planning to do 100%, do any percent before that. Just save yourself the trouble. Any percent is just a lot more fun, a lot easier. But, so the way to line up a lot of these tricks is you can use, obviously, your visual cues. Like, for the Edge Games trick, I use basically when the fish, or Pac-Man, or whatever you want to call it, crosses a certain point on the bottom row. That's when I'll start going, and I can hit it like 50-60% of the time. So it's just learning the visual cues for the game. That's a lot of these tricks.
I have to say,
since there's no randomness, you can pretty much enter a room the same way and do the exact same strat. And so you can more or less route this game on a room-by-room basis.
However, there's a little bit of a problem with that, is the way momentum works in this game is really, really screwed up. Like, you can think you're doing the same thing, exactly the same thing twice, and you'll have slightly different results because you started pressing left or right at a different point in the room, and that will actually affect your movement. So, so in particular, I was complaining to PJ about the Not As I Do and Mind Your Head. And it turns out, like, with the strat I have, if I start pressing right at a certain point in Not As I Do as I'm leaving it, there's no way I can make Mind Your Head quickly, which is the room that just has the one big elevator. Because what happens if I start pressing right at a certain pixel, Viridian's momentum for some reason will end up just falling straight down into the spikes, even though all you do is hold right. And there's it's so minute, but just like any little movement error in this game will cause you to die. That's kind of the gist of it. So deaths are really quick, but if you make a small amount of error, it's going to cost you. And that's kind of the huge deal of doing this deathless and adding more tricks and trying to do those deathless.
Also, one more thing I don't think we covered is that the tower, as you can see right now, is an auto-scroller. But as we've kind of mentioned, if you die in just the right place, you can actually force the screen to scroll a little bit faster to catch up to you. So if you die as soon as you hit a checkpoint at the top of the screen, you can optimize an auto-scroller.
That's like one of my favorite parts of this run. I think that's the coolest thing.
I absolutely hate it. And it's, like, at 80%, it's fine. I actually do take the first one really safe, because I used to die a lot going early on the first death abuse. So I always try to go a bit late, because I can easily kill myself afterwards. But, so in 100%, that second trinket, so there's that there's the spike wall, which you have to worry about, and then there's that one small spike right before the trinket that just somehow decides to kill me like 20% of the time. It's terrible. But for a lot of people, it probably doesn't really make too much of a difference, but for me, it costs 9 seconds for me to die on that spike. So it's pretty bad in that standpoint, but for most people, so I'm the only person really that runs 100% single segment, because no one else is insane enough to do it. And what was it, Trinklet? You were the one that was telling me basically that you refused to do 100% single segment because it was just stupid to do.
Yeah, I'm a wuss. I'll admit it right now. This game's too hard.
So, coming up, I'm going to talk to Victoria, and I'm going to grab her trinket. And the reason we do it now instead of later is because if you do it any later, then an extra cutscene will show up and show you where all the trinkets are, which obviously just kind of wastes time. And also coming up is probably the best room in the game, which is the Sad Elephant room.
Yeah.
Which has absolutely nothing in it besides the fact that it has a sad elephant, which is apparently a reference to a Commodore 64 game. If you stand in that room for about 10 or 11 seconds, what happens is Viridian gets sad.
Yeah.
And that's about all that is in that room. So,
the first time you find it, you're like, what the? Wait, what is this? Wait.
It looks like it would kill you if you touch it.
No, it doesn't. You literally just like make your way in the room. You're just like, I don't even. What the hell's that doing there? And then you go on Google and you're like, why is there an elephant in this room?
Nobody can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you use real time or game time for these rounds?
Okay, so Triangula was actually the one who kind of investigated this. So do you want to explain this?
Yeah, sure. The original 1.2 version of the game, the in-game time was completely accurate to, the amount of time you spent playing. However, when they ported it to C++, it turns out that there's one duplicate frame, like every 50 frames, and so it kind of messes up the in-game time a little bit. So you'll find that, I don't know, it's like running at 97% speed. It's not really a big deal because the timer is still accurate. It's just a bit slower than real time.
Yeah, so...
Does the timer run constantly? Or
Yeah,
like,
the timer
do
runs
cutscenes
through
not count?
cutscenes and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, during
We use-
cutscenes, during menu time.
I see.
But we use game time not only to kind of compare versions, but because some computers, for some reason, have trouble playing this game at quote full speed. So we use game time kind of to eliminate those differences. So the game runs at 29.49 frames per second, whereas when you're timing it, you're assuming 30 frames per second. That's where the extra frame comes from. So the game's just like, every 30 frames it's running, it's going to count that as a second, but the game runs at 29.49. But if you like compare 1.2 versus 2.0, 1.2 definitely runs faster. So it just makes more sense to use game time rather than real time. So we go by seconds. So this next part of this run is the most obnoxious part, I think, in any part of the run of any category. It's going through backwards Space Station 2 to get the 2 trinkets that we missed at the very beginning. And this is where I take my 2 deaths in Trench Warfare, because I have to hit a certain pixel to be able to do that trick.
That's a really silly room.
Yeah, it is. But obviously, because we killed ourselves at the very beginning and this is all trinkets, we have to go back and grab them. And so it's just going through it backwards quickly enough. It's annoying to do, but it's not terrible. There are worse parts, I guess, in terms of consistency. But doing this like towards the end of the run is just a nightmare, because you hit most of what's actually difficult, and then you get to this point, and you're just like, I really hope I don't fuck up.
Yeah. Incoming embarrassing deaths.
Yeah.
So this is more stressful to you than like a nice break from the run?
Yeah. So basically, if you go back to Gordian Knot, that's pretty much where, as soon as you hit intermission 1, that's where the run starts to get really difficult, because any minute movement error will actually kill you. And if you go to Gordian Knot, which was a while ago, the way to get that trinket is frame perfect and pixel perfect. So what happens is you got to carry Viridian's momentum to the right, have Viridian fall off the platform at its lowest point, and then flip as soon as Viridian, on the one frame you have for Viridian to flip off the platform. So this is, like, that's absolutely ridiculous, and then you have the rest of the run to go for. Luckily, Wenny Witty Wiki or doing things the hard way isn't terribly difficult once you do it once or twice, so I don't normally screw that up. It's normally everything else.
Yeah.
But, like, the 100% is just, it's just a nightmare, because doing everything as perfect as you need to be so you don't die is...
That's one actual thing we missed. Does the route you take actually matter? Because you can do it in any order, right?
The one thing that you pretty much have to watch for is that Violet has to be 4, so you skip the Gravitron. So the difference between the Gravitron and Intermission 1, which is the escort mission, is about 25 seconds doing it perfectly. Intermission 1, with the strats that I'm implementing, is 104, whereas the perfect Gravitron is 124. So you want Violet 4 so that we can actually skip the Gravitron rather than Intermission 1. And so we can skip anything at all, really. And then you don't want to save the green guy, Verdigris, who's in the warp zone. You don't want to save him 3rd, because that will take you to Intermission 1, and his dialogue in particular is really bad, because he has forced pauses in his dialogue. When the Gravitron skip was kind of discovered, I actually did make that mistake. I saved Verdigris 3rd, and I ended up with like a 1351 doing any percent. I was like, I think I can save like 10 seconds just by not doing Verdigris 3rd, because I wasn't really thinking with it. I was just kind of fooling around, because it was just a new trick that was just found. So nothing really too serious. And this is kind of like the story of running this game. I think I can save like 5 or 6 seconds, and then I save like 20 seconds.
I like when it works out that way. it's much better to have it work out that way than like, yeah, I can barely save 20 seconds. You save like 3. You're
Right,
like,
at best.
huh.
But then you're still convinced that you can save the 20.
Yep.
So then you just grinded it for months and months, and eventually you find a bunch of new stuff, and you get the 20 seconds. You're like, see? I told you I could.
What was it, like, when the task came out, I was like, I think I can get this down to like a 12:59 if I implement everything. And there's a couple things where I do leave out in the any percent run, but I don't know if it's enough. One, I don't think it's possible to do everything as perfect as you need it. Like, the any percent is really solid. And by that, I get all the line clips first try in any percent, which is absolutely insane. So, because every time you fail a line clip, it costs you like 2/10 of a second.
Yeah.
So hitting all 4 of those first try just saves a lot of time, and I don't think that was the first time ever that I hit all 4 for first try. So I just don't think it's repeatable.
All right. Is there any last things you want to say before you go into what we need to do, how to learn the game as well?
All right. Do you have anything? I think I might have missed 1 or 2 things, but Charlie, do you have anything about it?
Nothing comes to mind. I think we covered just about everything.
Awesome.
What about this
Good stuff.
this game reset glitch?
Oh, that was just a little, like, stupid trick I found where if you, from a cold boot, if you load up a save from a teleporter and immediately save your game, it'll exit, and then it'll save after you've exited and cleared most of the game's variables. And so it kind of resets everything in the game except for your current position and the number of trinkets you have. It was kind of a fun little trick. It isn't really good for anything in speedrunning, but if you want to do like a 200% run or something where you get all the trinkets again, that might be fun
Huh.
for someone.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna see that right now. Because I didn't really watch this video, so if you want to commentate it, Trinklet.
So yeah, if you noticed, I loaded a save and then immediately exited, and then it auto-saved after I had exited. And so it just did all sorts of weird stuff, and so now I'm back at the beginning even though I have all the trinkets.
Wow, it's a new game plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does the game just like not care about how many trinkets you have?
It says, I've got 20 out of 20 trinkets, and if I get another one, it'll say I'll have 21 out of 20. I think if you get any more than that, it'll just say I have lots out of 20. The game isn't very good at counting much higher than 20.
How nice they even coded that in.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Mm.
I was gonna say
Alright.
I'm impressed that it would even display 21
Yeah.
because it's written out, right? Yeah, 21 out of 20.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh no! Spoiler alert.
21 out of 20.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh no.
Oh boy, that's a spoiler.
Oh,
That's
man.
a spoiler. All right. How would you? Yeah, that's it. How would you suggest people go about learning this game in 3 easy steps?
3 easy steps. 1, take advantage of the time trials. Definitely take advantage of the time trials. So what you can do is the game allows you to play through pretty much every area separately. And this is all considered time trials and intermissions. And so time trials is divided into B, A, S, and V rank. And there's not really much to do with that. It's just really good practice. So B rank is your kind of initial rank, and then you have 3 criteria. Whether or not you died, whether or not you got to a par time, which really shouldn't be a problem, and then whether or not you grabbed all the trinkets. And if you do, for each one of those you do, you get a rank up, and if you do all 3 of those, you get a V rank, which is included into the trophy room, which I guess you guys won't really see here, but there's a bunch of trophies in this game. The biggest one being the Note F trophy, which sadly you won't be
Quite
able to
literally
see.
the biggest one.
Which kind of brings me actually a little bit back. So the whole thing about completing this 100% is you get the secret lab, which has the super gravitron, which is the RNG part of this game, and then you have
got the cutscene,
and then you got the fun little cutscene. You got the secret lab, which has the trophies. So trophies for beating the game with minimal deaths, completing it in flip mode, lasting a certain amount of time in the Super Gravitron, beating the game in no death, which has its own room, and then completing all the time trials V rank. So the game kind of institutes a system for you to encourage you to become really good at this game by including those trophies. Because to do a V rank, you have to be really consistent at what you're doing, and that's the way I kind of started playing this game. Was so like through the semester, college semester, I would have like 45-minute breaks where I couldn't really do anything because it wasn't really lunchtime or anything like that. So it's kind of like, okay, there's a quick 20-minute game I can play, and that was this game. And that's kind of how I started. And then it's just like keep on doing the time trials, getting consistent enough at doing it. And I mean, this game is mostly muscle memory. As soon as you kind of learn how to do one thing, you can get pretty good at it quickly, assuming it's not just some retarded trick you're trying to do. So the biggest thing, if you want to keep your time down in this game and you want to get really good at it, is practice the time trials and get really consistent at stuff. Like, every death doesn't seem like it takes a lot of time, but they really do add up. The difference between dying like 3 times versus dying 50 is like 4 or 5 minutes. So the best way to do it is definitely just try to get consistent. You don't have to try for the fastest strats. Just not dying is enough to get your time down a lot. Even in any percent, especially in 100%, just getting consistent at just running through the game normally will definitely be able to bring your time down.
Play lots.
It's not even like playing a lot. Like I said, the game encourages you with these time trials to go through every section. You don't really have to play a lot because it's so based on muscle memory, but I guess it's completely dependent on how fast you can kind of pick up something from muscle memory. But I guess if you haven't speedrun before, it's still pretty good to pick up because I guess a lot of the things will probably be useful, just being able to pick up something really quickly. But the game encourages you definitely to be consistent at it, and that's the easiest way to get good at this game. Yeah, as Mundungu is saying in chat, it's a quick learn because the game does give you those options.
Okay. Cool.
And then,
yeah,
I guess.
Where's the community hang out? Like, where do you guys?
Yeah.
Like, where would you exchange ideas with people on this game?
There's not too much of a community now. If you want to see like all of our notes kind of deal, it's on the SDA forums. Tranquilite has a few things. Lucky's Death Abuses are on that. And then a couple of my notes. And you can kind of see some of the older runs there that have a lot, I guess, noob-friendly strats. Because it took quite a long time for me to even get to the point where I'm even doing some of the shit I'm doing. And so if you look at like a normal run that was done, I don't know, like a year ago, you can see like the strats have gotten a lot more insane. And so if you're trying to pick this up, it's probably the best to even just run through it normally without looking at anything and not trying to emulate what I do. And then possibly go to some of the older videos, pick up a couple of the strats, and just keep on learning a couple rooms at a time. Because if you're trying to do what I do in the 1303 any percent, you're not going to go far.
Not
you're
a good
actually probably
starting point, huh?
It's not a good starting point. Because it's just, some of the stuff is just insane. You're going to die a lot if you've never played the game before. Actually, let's just say that straight out. If you've never played this game before, play it normally. Don't look at a run.
I think everybody here should play it. It's one of my... It doesn't matter if you watch the run. You'll just forget about it as soon as you start playing anyway. But it's a really, really good game. And it's cheap. So cheap.
Yeah,
and if it's not cheap now, wait until... Has the Steam Summer Sale happened yet?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. It'll probably go on super cheap during that.
It'll be on that.
$5 now, and it's probably going to be around $2.50 when it's on sale. Is normally the price.
Yeah. I bought it for £2 about 2 years ago, so yeah, it's awesome. All right, cool. Are we ready to move on then?
Do you have anything else to say, Tranquilate, about kind of picking up this game?
No.
Pretty much covered everything.
Sweet. Let's
Although,
one
one last thing actually about the community. So sorry about that. So on the Speedruns Live server, we actually do have a room that's just hashtag VVV. And so if you kind of want to hang out there, you can kind of ask us any questions and we'll kind of tell you how to do it. You can also check out my channel whenever I'm streaming and ask me whatever question you want and I'll answer it. So if you're interested at all learning the game, just stop by.
All right.
Awesome. Good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, that'll work. That's a good enough segue. It's records time. Hey, that'll go. Is there anything we were going to say before records, or are we going to go straight into records?
Do we do news now or at the end?
We normally do like the bit of news now, right?
Oh, okay, go for it.
But let's just do that now to get out of the way before we like randomly slot it in at the end of records like we normally do. You guys, your thing is now next week, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we're doing
You
should probably say something about that.
you should probably say something
So
about it.
next, our next Friday and Saturday, all day Friday and Saturday. I think we're starting at noon on Friday and going, all through that day and the next.
I love how your game list is like 30 games long, but it's just over a day.
Yeah, exactly. What's all these short games? That's how it works.
Yeah.
Which is so much more work than just like one game that's 3 hours, as opposed to me doing like 8 different games in that amount of time and having to remember all of them. But
I like Snake Rattle and Roll for 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of effort to only get 14 or 15 minutes out of the thing, But so anyway, this upcoming Friday and Saturday, we're going to be doing this in order to send myself, Mecha Richter, PJ, and Duckfist to SGDQ. So we're doing our combined donation stream, the Fab 4 Marathon. We're going to have donation incentives. There's going to be perlers as prizes. People are going to get dunked into those dunking tanks. PJ is going to like throw beanbags at a target. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And there's going to be cotton candy.
Right.
Nice.
So check out that thing. We're playing a lot of weird games that we're going to love. I mean, everyone's going to love it. Watching Hydlide and Castle Quest, I think.
See, I was going to run a donation stream to raise €5 so I could buy a bed for ESA, but it turns out I have the €5. You can buy an air mattress bed for €5 for ESA.
That's pretty concerning. Is it like a burlap sack that you just kind of inflate and then hope you fall asleep before the air goes out?
Yeah, it's like when you try to blow into a bag. It's like that.
Huh.
But I'm excited. Turns out I didn't need it, so just go give all your money to PJ Feasel, Duckfist, and Mecha.
Your schedule is linked in the chat there, helpfully.
Yeah.
It is. They're not using the shortened link either. They're using the full-blown one.
The full thing, so you know that you're not going to get porn.
Right.
Yeah, you know it, right.
And viruses. Well, you will get porn and viruses by watching this.
I was just...
Yeah.
I don't want to say that, so.
What if that's what I'm looking for?
Yeah. Also, a weird bit of... It's good news, but it's also confusing news. A bunch of subs were given out to speedrunners. I can't remember which ones they were. We've no idea really what Twitch's method of deciding who gets sub or not is.
Yeah.
Honestly, we haven't got a clue. A bunch of guys got subs. It's cool that they got subs. We just don't fucking understand why. Honestly, we don't mean that in a mean way. We mean that for months and months they've been telling people with 4K average viewers no.
Yep.
So
and now
we don't know.
300's enough. Plenty of viewers. So
We
we're
don't
hoping
know
that we
what
slip
happened.
in under the radar and get that button.
Yeah, we don't know what on earth happened, but it's cool. So enjoy a bunch of horrible, horrible speedrun icons that you can buy and share with people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's good. All right, I think that's everything pretty much, right?
I think so.
Yeah, cool. Records then, boy oh boy. We have a Bobo's Big Adventure. This is the one you liked, isn't it, PJ?
I think everybody likes this.
I think actually everybody like it. Do you want to read the little comment for us?
Oh boy, do I. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got A Bobo's Big Adventure by Penta. He finished the any percent category in 32 minutes and 48.84 seconds.
Whoa.
And he tells us...
Yes, that's pretty good.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, I'm ready. He tells us, last week I said I would wait for someone to beat my time before I come back to this
Sorry,
game.
read the chat. Ignore me.
Well, I lied. I got a few PBs this week, and this one is the best of them. I just improved my execution overall. No new glitches found. In one of the runs, I messed up the Mega Man part, and if I didn't, I would get a 32-22. So my next goal is sub 32-30. Maybe a very low 32 is possible with the current pathing.
I love a Bobo. I'm so glad someone made a game for him.
Yep.
It's funny how silly he looks in the other contexts, too. I mean, even just in Double Dragon, he looks funny.
Oh,
when
yeah,
he's, like,
he looks
swimming in
ridiculous.
Mario.
The
Double Dragon.
swimming is
Oh,
amazing.
boy. Oh my god, that's so good.
Eating the fish.
What's he doing? Is he Yoshiing there?
Yeah.
Wow,
That's just
amazing.
the Goonies reference, though. That's
Oh, is it?
probably the best part.
Alright, yeah. Bobo's Big Adventure. Go watch it. I didn't even, I guess play it too. I don't care. Just like make sure you have more of this in your life.
Yeah,
Boy.
that's
Alright.
all. That's all you get.
Yeah. Next up, Assassin's Creed. So this is cool because I always find it interesting how some of the like biggest game franchises at the moment just aren't really run. I don't know how well they lend themselves to running. But Assassin's Creed, obviously one of the biggest ones at the moment, just under 5 hours, which seems crazy long. I guess you can't skip cutscenes. I don't know.
Maybe that would
This
explain
is-
why. More people
Yeah,
are
I don't
running
know
it.
if you can or not.
It's
Yeah,
5
but
hours
it's-
of cutscenes.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's 4:56:52 by Wymorn, who says, I finally cut the 5 in Assassin's Creed, which has taken me a few weeks' worth of attempts. I'm really happy with this time for now and would like to move on to Assassin's Creed 2 soon. Yeah. You can't skip cutscenes, well there you go. You can play Assassin's Creed 2, where Ezio the Italian has a very Polish accent. I love it incredibly for that reason. You listen to it and you'll realize. There's also Bible Buffet, which is an interesting name for a game, which I'm sure is exactly as it sounds. This is an NES in 1436 by Dugong, who didn't have a comment, or if he did, we got rid of it. I don't know. Oh boy, PJ.
Why do I feel like this is something that Peaches introduced to the community?
Oh, because it's a
It's on
Bible
her
game.
name. Yeah,
I don't know, but it's because it's NES, so I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's
True.
Yeah, that's my
All right.
opinion.
So
Sorry,
Blasto,
I just had to rush through to Blasto.
Right,
I'm sorry.
So Blasto is the greatest game that's ever been released.
Released.
May as well.
Released.
May as
I
well.
released my balls all over.
Released.
I'm just so excited for Blasto.
Right.
Fantastic game. So Reno has been helping me with routing and then completely took the reins while I kind of slipped away. I gave him the old dragon treatment and let him do the running. And he came up with a 29:06, which is really fast. And I need to watch this run. He left a comment here. Pretty sloppy run overall. Twave. Wow, Twave. Stage.
You're not doing very well with this.
Man, talking is so
Everybody's-
difficult today.
No.
Stage 12 in particular was a disaster, and there was a death in Stage 9 that caused probably 30 plus seconds on its own. I haven't actually counted up the number of unintentional deaths, but there were at least 10. It's super easy to die in Blasto, so that's pretty normal. Fortunately, most of those don't cost a ton of time, thanks to Blasto's checkpoint system, but it still looks really ugly. Some
I'm
of the
glad we
skips
have
gave me
that
some
death
trouble.
there.
This
Yeah.
clip right here is the greatest thing. I found this on my first playthrough of this game. You just go underwater and you can swim from stage 4 to stage 7. It's fantastic. He says some of the skips gave me some trouble, but at least I got the OB in stage 4 instantly, which is nice. Sub 25
this.
is probably possible, but I don't know if I want to go for it. At this point, I'd probably be happy with the low to mid 26.
Wow, Blasto. It's just his swimming animation's funny enough on its own without
Yeah,
Without the glitch to make it even funnier.
that's not even his best swimming animation. There are two others that are like just so good. I love this game.
PS1 era glitching clipping's the best one.
Yeah.
I prefer it to N64. N64 clipping's too easy.
That was
PS1
pretty
era
much
clipping, you have to
GK64
just sort of...
level.
Nice
I love this
ending.
cutscene. Oh my god. How is his hair moving inside of... I don't know.
'Cause
Whoa. What's he doing? Blasto. Okay. Well, there you go.
he's had enough. He's had enough of this game.
Alright. Borderlands 2, this PC any percent in 30845, which is really quick if you've actually played that game. That strikes me as really fast. I don't know much about this run. Oh, this is by Professor Broman, by the way. I know there were a bunch of really cool glitches. I'm absolutely certain he uses the infinite ammo glitch, most likely. But you can do some cool rocket jumps in this game, and you can do some crazy speed glitches. There's one I like, which, whatever the new soldier's called. I've forgotten what that class is even called.
Mercenary? Alright.
No, it wasn't mercenary, was it?
Commando, maybe?
Commander, yeah, that sounds about right. He has a really hilarious speed glitch. I have no idea what
Commando.
ones are used in this game, but I can confirm for you that it has infinite ammo and climbing up walls you shouldn't be able to climb up.
I think the last run of this got, like, a ridiculously rare drop in the middle of one of the forced battles.
Oh, yeah, I heard
A pistol that has the Infinity, I think it is. A pistol that has infinite ammo.
Oh, but they use an infinite ammo glitch anyway.
Oh, well, shut
Yeah.
up.
No, I'm just saying, whatever. But hey, let's stop arguing now, PJ, because
No.
how can we argue when this game exists?
Oh, you're right.
Hey, Tranquilite, would you like to tell us all about Chocobo's Dungeon 2?
I don't think I have the link to like the run comments and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Don't
We'll
worry
help
about
you with that.
Don't worry, yeah,
Well,
you should have said
anyways.
something earlier, buddy.
Chocobo's Dungeon 2, any percent by Cyberdemon 531 in 4 hours, 16 minutes, and 42 seconds. He says, very nice run. I got the Beat Skullhammer world record in this run as well, and the equipment I got there carried me throughout the entire game. I can still save a lot of time from this run, but this is very, very nice. It's not surprising that he can save a lot of time in this run, considering this is a Rouge-like in every sense of the word.
Roguelike.
Yeah. Roguelike.
Yeah.
So, everything about this game is pretty random. And by pretty random, I mean it's absolutely random, just kind of your position where you are on the floor. So, to me, it's interesting that someone's actually running a game like this, because
People
it's
have done it before. We've had other, like, net hacks and that on here.
What's that game? Super House of Dead Ninjas?
Right.
Yeah.
That one's, it's
Yeah.
random. But at least
And
it's
not-
within certain constraints. It's not,
Yeah.
completely like, where do I go next? In
Mm.
that game, it's like, well, I'm going to go down and I'm going to kill things. It's like,
Yeah. Oh no, spoilers! I'm too excited to watch the next one.
we'll
boy.
get to it real quick.
Don't worry, I don't think anyone got
No
anything
one
out
saw
of
that. No one
yeah.
knows.
Don't worry, you can just leave the whole highlight running now.
That's
We'll
an
get
amazing
it.
highlight. You just start playing it
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah.
just gonna play the whole run, I think.
So it's a random game and it's over 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Sounds awful. Alright, I don't know. Okay, so Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, the any percent in 5035 by Stone01, who has a lot of comment. Crash 3 has gone to the point where sloppy runs are world records. Kind of silly. It's a sloppy run with lots of derpy moments, costing me stupid time loss with old routes, both the plain levels, new routes that can save 10 seconds in total. The dogfight levels, those are. I see sub 50 as the ultimate goal. Me and Solar Bowler are working on it. Keep going, Stone. I'm glad to see the Crash games getting some love.
Yeah. And I'm
Oh,
glad
boy.
to see sloppy runs taking world
Yeah.
records.
Yep.
Sloppy
Speaking
run.
of games that need some
Thumbs up.
love.
Speaking of, I was going to say speaking of games that rhyme with Crash, but I guess
that
your
would
one
work
works
too. By our
Yeah.
powers combined, we have almost one coherent segue.
Right.
So Cananophone is a man who fears nothing, and he ran Dash Galaxy in the Alien Asylum, and improved. I think it was Ness's run.
Yes.
Down to a 618 now. He left us a very, very nice comment here. Lots of small improvements to the SDA run, but here are the major ones. Number 1, Wiggletron plus holding up allows Dash to do a running jump from a spot that would normally not have enough room to run. Number 2, SDFG found a crazy bug where if you hold left while entering some rooms, the game won't reset Dash's X coordinate to where the door is, so you can spawn in the completely opposite side of the stage.
Just by holding left.
Yeah,
That's
just
amazing.
holding left. And number 3, pressing select during an action room drains your oxygen while making the most ungodly sound, so I tried to incorporate that into the run wherever possible. Fantastic. Yeah, this is a game that I'm surprised even one person played through, let alone speedran, but now some other's competition.
I don't know, man. I guess summer in America is really boring.
Yep.
Europe, we're just happy we've got some sun. But hey, there's a good highlight for this one. You guys should go check it out. We link the highlight, or should we just tell them what the highlight is?
What?
But yeah, go for it and link the highlight. But I think it's
Link the highlight.
Speaks for itself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's cool.
I'll
Go
handle it.
just go check out the full highlight, because we can't play the whole thing now. Because we've got to talk about Diddy Kong.
I
Right?
can't play the full thing now. Well, that's okay.
Oh.
We can just let this play through during the Diddy Kong.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Congratulations!
The units mission completed. Dash.
Okay,
It's a
that's-
lot of exclamation marks. That's I think that's excessive.
Yeah, TOEFL beats both the 100% and the any percent without major skips. I don't know what the category is called, but the normal one without the wrong warp and all that stuff. Yep, you got 207, 47, and 100%, and 139, 28 in the any percent without leaving us a comment. But that's fine.
The run speaks for itself,
boy.
really. Watch the
Look
run
at this
if you want to
name.
comment.
Yeah.
Look at
It
this
was
name.
close to a 138. I imagine we'll be going for it.
Yeah, I guess. Tranquilite, now that you have a link, we have this other game for you here.
All right. Looks like this game is called Dog on a Stick. It is a PC game. There's an any percent run at 47.25 by Caveman DCJ. Putt Putt and Pep's Dog on a Stick has the potential to be the ultimate speed game. 100 levels straight of nothing but mashing, RNG, and dogs. Just click anything. It will have dogs. What? Oh, that's what you're supposed to look at for the...
That's the highlight. Is anything?
Yes.
It's all got dogs, so you're set.
This is like
I
bad
remember
humor.
playing like Putt Putt.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know, 15 years ago, something like that. Damn. I don't remember this though.
Hubert always had a dog on a pogo stick. That's how it started out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't have the rights to the very successful Japanese Dog on a Stick cartoons. They had to change it to Qbert.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Dog on a Stick. The ultimate speed game, so who am I to judge?
That death warp.
There you
It
go.
shouldn't be hard to segue into this next game, Flicky.
So
Everything segues into this game.
segues out and back in and out again repeatedly. In the sense of glitching, not in any other way, you dirty person. It's Donkey Kong 64. Ring Rush got the 44, 44, all those fours. That's a good amount of fours.
Yeah.
He was going for a 44, 64, but then he realized,
Yeah.
He says, not a particularly great run, but those fours. That's right. He is right.
If
Those
anyone
fours.
beats that, we will find you.
Yeah.
That time needs
So-
to stay.
That is a second improvement of what he had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Good.
But it's got the fours, so it's alright. Speaking of Donkey Kong, it's Donkey Kong Jungle Beat as well. That game with the bongos, that's a platformer, because I remember.
Mm-hmm.
This is by Pie Pusher 11. It's a lot more exciting than being a pencil pusher, I guess. But this is a 127. 27! What's with all these amazingly almost significant sounding times.
Because it's Donkey
27,
Kong.
27, all that stuff. But
I like that
this-
Donkey Kong's down here too.
But it says, I've been working on this run for a long time now, and I finally got a run I'm happy with. It's not quite perfect, but I'm still really happy with this run. I think I'm done with any percent now. Onto 100%.
Please no.
So I had a fun conversation with somebody at work today. Not today, sorry, I wasn't working. Sometime in the week. And they were saying, you play a lot of video games, right? It's like, yeah. Have you ever heard of Donkey Kong? So yeah, that's pretty famous. It's like a monkey. Yeah, it's a monkey. But why is it called Donkey Kong? I was like, did you not know this existed? This person's like 30 as well. So probably alive when Donkey Kong was released. I imagine made news somewhere.
Somewhere.
Either way. I very upset them by having heard of Donkey Kong. I think they were they were sharing something unique with me.
So the next day you asked them if they heard of Pac-Man, right?
Well, no, I sort of felt like, what should I say? Like, have you heard of this guy Brad Pitt? He's this actor guy. I like that he's found a way to clip in this game.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So
Hit left
good.
bongo 4 times, hit right bongo twice.
I love that. There must be a camera check bongo that we don't know about.
Wow. What a game.
Good stuff. All right. Hey, we've also got next Dust and Elysian Tale.
Elysian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Elysian Tale. This is a PC any percent with warps in 2551 by OGAM, which is Margot backwards. I think I just blew your minds. So this game uses a teleport glitch found by Andre J857. This lets you warp to any room on the map. Some rooms can be very glitchy.
It doesn't sound useful.
How could you even use that? He probably doesn't even use it. Wait, sorry. So you warp to every main point of the game as well as the last boss fight scene for a final boss. Thanks to the other run of this game for making this game more fun.
Wow, that's a pretty good trick.
This is a pretty good trick. Hey, Feezy, Echo.
Me.
Yeah.
What
Talk
do
about
I
Echo.
have to do with anything?
Lots. I heard you have a big cavernous house, which is
Giant cavernous
right.
house.
And it
Exactly,
flooded
much
the
like
other
Echo
day.
the Dolphin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's flooding by dishwasher explode. All right. So, Echo the Dolphin is a game for the Genesis. Any percent run in 1807 by, no, not who you think. It's by Dusk Fiend.
Is this the third or fourth guy to take
Yeah.
this record, by the way? This scene has had nobody in it for years.
And then suddenly an Echo Explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Echo Explosion.
Coined it here.
Yeah. You heard it here first. But talk about it. Feasel.
Oh
Come
man,
on.
see, I don't know
There's no
that much
comment.
about it, but I know that he's doing something cool here.
The
and
Genesis
will
is
soon
so
be in the
bad
wall.
at cameras.
This was basically borrowed from Sonic the Hedgehog.
This is a screen scroll glitch. This is
Yeah,
Zelda.
he's using the screen scroll basically.
This
and
is
then-
Zelda.
This is probably my favorite clip. I was originally going to have 2 minutes of this, but I decided it'd probably be better to show some other things.
Is he going through those platforms
I
as
believe
well?
that's what's happening, yes. For a very long period of time. This is like half auto-scroller. This game is so much auto-scroller in it. Or at least the speed run just proportionally, because everything else gets so
Yeah.
optimized except the auto-scrollers.
You just
Like,
skip
if you
over
click
it.
anywhere, you're most likely going to get auto-scroller.
That's how it goes.
The Genesis just cannot figure out how to scroll screens. I like how some of the Sonic zips are literally just like holding up to move the camera and then that's it.
I love this boss.
This boss is weird. Like, I didn't quite understand what's happening at it, but it's very entertaining.
It's just this sort of thing with Echo. It's one of those games, if you used to watch a speedrun of it, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Because you're like, well, I don't get it. He was like in the ocean like a couple minutes ago.
He's
Now
a
he's fighting this
time-traveling
demon.
dolphin.
Yeah. Saving the world. And then he does this spin.
And he does this.
Yeah.
With the audio, this is very surreal.
Yeah.
I love it.
Looks
All
like
right.
time travel to me.
Looks like he's traveling. Turn the
better
page,
not.
PJ.
You
Turn the
better
page.
not. I'm not
He's
doing
faster
it.
than light, which is our next game. So this is This is a random game too, right? I'm pretty sure this is a roguelike also. This is FTL, Faster Than Light, PCUS, 80% easy in 2020. Hey, it's another one of those cool looking times. This is a guy called Twinge, which I think is a really cool idea, actually. I like that. Twinge. That's cool.
It's like
It's good.
Twig, except not.
Oh, but different. It's like if you caught your elbow on something, or if you were plucking your eyebrows. Yeah. He says there are some strategy improvements over Jovialis's run with comparable luck. Still a lot of room for improvement though. Next goal is sub 20. There you go. This is one of those games I've heard it's very, very good and very compelling and fun. But to quote, was it Green who made this highlight? I don't know why I made this highlight, because I have no idea what's going on, essentially, is what he said. And everything looks like menus. But I'm sure there's some guys who played FTL again getting a real kick out of this. Like a real, oh man, look at this. We don't know what's going on.
I have no idea. No, someone was
but-
playing this. It might have been Murph or Heidemann or someone was playing this, and I watched the stream for like 5 minutes. They're like, I don't really. Is this like Battleship or? I don't
Yeah.
really get it.
It's apparently one of those games where, like, the first few times you pick it up, you're not really going to do well, and then you start getting stuff, and then you start doing better and better. So I guess it's sort of like Binding of Isaac in that sense.
It just sort of looks like a lot of menus from different games all put on the thing. Like there's some like health bars for a party frame from an MMO. It's like a map from Counter-Strike. Down there in the bottom, you've got like a Sims style button selection. Where
Well,
his
that's
mouse
for the
is
lemmings, so you can give them
now. Oh
different
yeah,
abilities and stuff.
lemmings.
I
I
like
don't know.
how the gameplay is like you take the Super Metroid map and you just make that the game itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. He either
It's
won or
like,
just game overed, but I'm assuming he won.
I'm gonna go with 1, yeah, because I think it's an permanent death game. And there you go. He did
Huh.
the thing to the thing. Good job, Twinge. We don't have any idea what's going on, but well done. Okay, this one I'm just not allowed to talk about anymore.
Yeah.
So, Fiery, would you like to take this?
Oh, you seem to know this game. Okay, anyways. Gotcha Force by Dan Schumann. He says, here's this. Oh, it's in
It's
332.
Scheming Dan, man. It's Scheming Dan. Dad scheming.
It's in 332x. 3 hours and 32 minutes and some sort of seconds.
Number of seconds.
Or the GameCube. He says the reason there are two X's in the time is because I'm using the in-game timer, and that doesn't give seconds. Anyways, this is a big improvement from my first run. The reason the run was so much faster is because I actually planned the entire run, which took me about a week to test and write everything down. I need to invest more time into what Borgs I'm going to use with because the Borgs I'm using now aren't the fastest. The Dragon Borgs are the fastest, but I can't get them using the 20th force glitch, so I have to find other Borgs to make the run faster. I have no idea what's going on with this run.
I'm 80% sure you can out of bounds, just from what I'm watching right now.
Oh, I think he just accidentally did it that bit. It's sort of like a Zone of the Enders style game. I have a lot of trouble knowing which is the original for a lot of games, so Zone of the Enders might not well, you know. It looks like it though. But cool. We got 2 Half-Life runs as well. The new engine, new school kids of battling against the old engined kids.
Yeah, it's like they've got a
Almost.
competition going on, but they're not even playing the same game. It's still
Right,
like
exactly.
just trying to up each other every week.
It's like when fans of 2 different sports argue with each other. Yeah, well, Tiger Woods could beat Roger Federer at football, so... It's the new engine, scriptless. Sully JHF improved it with the 20957. He still optimistically got what could well be a Twitch face as his Twitch avatar, just in case. It says this is an absolutely terrible run at the start, but because I was in a race, I carried on. It turned out pretty well, as I finally got the goal of sub 210. I'll be pushing this time lower, and my new goal is 205xx, but that won't be for a while. The highlight video I posted shows a few of the tricks in this run that I find the best. Like the Shadow Temple early. Huh? Same game? I don't know. Seen right near the start, and also probably the coolest ABH fling you'll ever see towards the end.
I found it.
Did you?
I found it.
Okay, good. You gonna show us to us, or?
It's if Twitch is gonna let me. Here, let's do this so it's not just a black screen. It's not a black screen anymore. Okay, we got it. Keep talking, you got it.
One. Oh, okay. It's Half-Life 2. We got to watch. I can't talk about a different Half-Life.
Well, no, because I've got clips for the other two as well. So.
Oh, we'll keep going then. There's more Half-Life 2 stuff. The old engine, 21234 by S. He has also got a comment. After grinding a segment for HL2DW little a HM little OV, I went back to doing my usual routine of doing SS runs. This run was okay, but Water Hazard and Dark Energy didn't go at all well. Note to self, don't fly into invisible walls and don't fly through the ceiling and get stuck. Shouts out to Stivity Bobo for getting Banjo Song stuck in my head for the entire duration of this run.
Wow, Shadow Temple is pretty appropriate for what is going on.
Yeah.
Pitch Black Temple.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's outside. I'm going to keep going, though.
Right, so this is S now.
We're on S now.
Yeah.
Are these highlights shared, or are there two highlights?
There's
game?
two of them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about Half-Life 2 Episode 1 while you're watching Half-Life 2. Okay? Half-Life 2 Episode 1, this is any% 5302, again by S, who says, this game is designed to destroy you in every single way it is possible to be destroyed. For a run this unoptimized, it's darn hard to beat. This game is fun in other parts, though, since you need to keep your dickhead companion Alex alive. Which means you actually get to kill enemies. I'm glad Vice City brought the word dickhead to the world of people outside of the UK and Australia. Do you say it much in America?
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
That's the only word that's a regular part of my vocabulary. Besides gin.
Compared to everything else.
Gin. Gin and dickhead. More gin, dickhead. Oh.
Yeah. That's it. You set my word quota for the day. That's a relief.
Good stuff. But he's actually shooting stuff. I'm confused about this.
Yeah.
There's clips of him killing enemies and stuff.
Don't worry, he found a scrap of wood. Oh, God.
Oh, he found an object. Where's he going? Where's he going? Yeah. Oh boy.
What a good engine.
They just don't learn, do they?
Pick up scrap of wood, use it to go to the top of the world.
Yeah.
Alright, this is
like
episode
the
1
Japanese straw trade analogy, but for a new generation. And now we're still... Okay, well...
he's got a piece of wall now.
Oh, God. Who let him have that?
Hey!
It's like sneaking...
What?
Sneaking metal into Magneto's prison. I don't know. Probably has something to do with that scrap of metal, though.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's still there.
Boy.
I'm not sure if I agree. what do I know?
Oh, wow.
It's cool.
Wow.
This pacifist rocket jumping. All right.
Well done, us.
Yep. Oh boy, this one has a long comment, and I've never heard of it. So I'm going to pass this one to Mr. Feasel, who's going to read it for us.
Yeah, sure. Okay, here we go. So we have a run of the game Hard Reset on easy mode in 4532 by Overfiend VIP. What he has to say is the following. Hard Reset is a first-person shooter with a cyberpunk theme that emulates the classic FPS style. Weapons do not need to be reloaded. There's no ability to crouch or zoom, and armor and ammo to an extent regenerates. The environment can also become a great weapon, as there are many objects in the world, such as cars and transformers, that explode or spew electricity when shot, which is deadly to the enemies, known simply as the machines. The game also features a unique physics engine where the game's standard procedure is to increase your forward momentum for a moment when you collide with an object, which is key to performing most of the interesting skips found in the run. Unless additional skips are found, I believe this run is realistically improvable by about 2 minutes, mainly through better execution of certain skips and being less cautious during engagements.
Cool. That was a very nice, succinct comment.
He really hit all the points. And
Yeah. I like that he has a very simple and logical statement of how much it can be improved by.
Yeah.
2 minutes, provided
Because
new skips aren't found.
when you run into stuff, you get faster before you get slower. We all know this.
Right.
Right, well, that
That's
makes
why
sense.
it hurts so much.
Right.
I think that was Newton's seventh law. And ask me what the other ones are.
That's it. It combines all of the others into the seventh.
I think all
Seven.
the other 16 just aren't true anymore. Like they were true when he wrote them, but they're not true anymore, so they're not really laws. So you don't need to know them.
So we just replace them with, if you bump into stuff, you go faster and it hurts.
That's why it hurts more.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Just gotta be careful not to go too fast.
Yeah, because then you just die.
Right. Because then physics crumbles and you can go through stuff.
Yeah, I learned that from Dark Forces 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I just read that. It's not the fall that kills you, it's that sudden acceleration. Alright, we got a... I should have said something about us being silly, so I could say Journey to Silly Us. But it's Journey to Silly Us. Nez, you, any percent, 1201, Primal 85, who says, great game and great soundtrack. I think that my run was good overall, has some minor mistakes in it, and I choked sub 12 at the final boss. I think a really good time for this game would be about 11:40. This is a good game. This is one Mecha plays, right, PJ?
This is
Or
what
is that-
he likes.
Oh,
Rafe
okay.
plays this
I
one.
saw Rafe playing it, and then Christian had the record for this, I think. The guy who was on our show for Bayou
as
Billy.
in Rafe as in
Tranquilites
Tranquilize Brother.
brother, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's him.
that wasn't so hard to say, was it now? Right. Moving on, we got Kickle Cubicle, which is a game the name, I don't get it. I think it's just because the word cubicle's in it. I don't think cubicle doesn't come up.
Maybe it's Kickle Cubicle.
Kickle Cubicle, the pickle.
Right.
Oh boy. So this is Kickle Cubicle the Pickle, which is a pickle-based platforming game with a very interesting gravity gimmick. Good Badoo ran the game in 45:55 and says, this is a pretty good run with only a few errors and 2 deaths. I estimate another 30 to 60 seconds to come with this time. I may start learning the bonus levels in the near future for full game runs. Shout outs to all my swampy friends at Surge. There you go. Good stuff. Also, Killer 7, Nigleria obviously heard us struggling with trying to explain this game last week, so made a really long comment and did 2 runs, which is an any percent in 30603 and a any percent killer rate, which is a 34117. So these big comments, I gotta read them, so let's go. Howdy, Nigleria again. Since I'm improving a run of a game nobody else runs, you'll probably be hearing from me a lot more, eh? Well, on to the improvement. She could just get rid of that first bit.
Well, you didn't have to start reading.
Right, yeah.
You've got to read it. First off, this run is deathless, which is where most of the time was saved. A few helpful chat members also taught me a few tricks, such as shooting the left knee of a handsome brown with Coyote for a one-hit kill, and how to make serum from thick bloodfast. Yeah. The biggest time saver the chat gave me was using Mask's dual grenade launchers on the giant block of cheese. I used to kill all the mice to get the cheese in a minigame style target game to unlock a door, but you could just Mask to blow the cheese up and it works. Overall, the run was pretty solid. A minute or two might be shaved off, but we'll have to save that for next week. In the name of Harmon. But also for his Killer 8, he has the next bit, another comment, it says, howdy, so this is Killer 8 mode. All the personalities die in one hit, with the exception of young Harmon Smith, which is the 8th personality. All the bosses are harder, and everything is basically mind-numbingly cruel and painful. Sub 340 is definitely possible, but Killer 8 is so goddamn... Okay, we got it, it's hard. Take the hardest game you've ever played. Hard is really hard. The fight against Curtis is Rick George rule, and you have to shoot it down when the bird flies away. But the bird is so damn mean in Killer 8 because it's hard. Okay, I got it. There's a nice long comment which basically boils down to this game is hard. And also weird as fuck. I mean, let's be honest. Boy, oh boy. Okay, Little Big Adventure. Somebody, come on. Okay,
Little Big Adventure.
Yeah, it's on PC. It says so.
Little Big Adventure.
Yeah,
PC game. Any percent.
Yeah. Good stuff.
127.06 by Crimson Mana. Implemented some new strats and did fairly well on taking down enemies, which are massive time wastes. Could have still gone a lot better, as I had another 2 deaths, but thankfully not in places which would waste a lot of time. I also wasted time on the Mecha Penguin strat, trying to get him to walk on the weight sensor. Usually this only takes me 1 try, but I failed it quite badly. I also ran into walls quite a few times. And let me tell you, running into walls is very easy in this game. Like, I saw a run of it once.
Judging by
My
how
menuing
slowly
in this-
he's walking, I don't believe you.
This looks like literally the worst control scheme in history, and I have no idea what it is.
My menuing
This,
in this
this
run-
sort of reminds me of Octodad, except worse.
Yeah, I was
Has,
getting
like,
a
an
quad
awkward look.
vibe. I was getting a quad vibe from it. Sorry, Tranquil.
Sorry, yeah.
Alright, continuing on. Menuing. My menuing in this run wasn't the greatest, and I used the character state reset in places I really didn't need to. This run can still use some improving. The new save and quit strats really saved me in this new PB, and I think with the new save and quit strats, I'd be looking at possibly a sub 125.
Alright, it was pretty close to that.
That looked funky. Really funky.
Yeah, that game does look funky. I still don't quite get it, but it's...
Yeah, what's its gimmick?
That's-
Like, what's the... I don't know.
Just not having played it, I just don't think I could understand what it's about, is the thing.
Yeah.
Alright, boy. Mega Man 5? Got improved. Well, yeah, it must have got improved. What am I talking about? It's a Mega Man game. It's 3718 by Visan. There is no comment. I do not know if he's Japanese or what.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yes,
He beat
and
EXO.
He beat EXO, which is...
Yeah,
that's...
so.
Not many people in the world can say that about anything, so that's amazing right there.
Yeah. But, I can't really remember which one 5 is. Is this the ridiculously laggy one?
It is definitely pretty laggy from what I've seen. We used it in SGL the other week.
Oh no, this is
Yeah.
the one with the names, isn't it? You could collect. You can spell
You
his
spell
name.
Mega Man and you get, what's his name?
You get beat.
The dude. Beat, yeah.
You
Yeah, Pete, that sounds like a horrible reward.
You get beat. Congrats, you passed the spelling. Here's your reward.
Just like real life. You can spell, get out. Give me your lunch money.
Oh, he doesn't do the Napalm Man zip that EXO does.
Participation trophy.
Yeah, so basically, when I was talking with EXO about it before, because I think Visan tied EXO's run a few weeks ago or something, he has some new routes, but in general, the play is a bit sloppier. So there's still like 10 seconds or so, if I'm remembering right, that can be shaved off.
So that means there will be someone doing this at some point. If not EXO, it'll be this guy again, or who knows.
Yeah. I think EXO said he was interested in learning it again. And by learning it again, I mean revisiting it. But we'll see. I guess time will tell.
Okie doke.
But big congrats for
Yeah,
that.
seriously.
Anytime a classic Mega Man gets improved, it's cause for a celebration.
Yeah.
Unless it's Mega Man X, which just happens all the time.
That happens all the time, man. That's not...
Yeah.
That doesn't count
It'd be
as
news
classic.
if it didn't get improved.
This is a cool Mega Man. I enjoyed these games on Game Boy, but I would like Fiery Blizzard to talk about this just because he hadn't spoken in a bit.
Okay, so this is Mega Man 03 by Kuribon. Don't know how to pronounce that.
It's curry bun. It's like a bun.
Sounds like
you
a
know
street food
Cinnabon.
that you would pick up.
Yeah, you know
I'll take curry
Cinnabon.
buns,
It's that,
please.
but with curry instead.
That sounds good. I want one of those.
Yeah, I'll take one.
It's good because I just invented it, and I'm the only one who's allowed to sell it in the world. That'd be $70, please.
Anyways, it's in 44:23, 20%. He says game time is 27:09. This is my first. Oh, the game time is 27:09. It is my first sub 44:30 and 03, which is quite the milestone for me compared to the other Zero games. 3 has more tech involving the recoil rod and the extra skills or X skills. The recoil rod is used to pogo off the enemies, and the X skills are used to defeat bosses much quicker. There can be time saved on the Copy X stage, the final stage, and Voltail's stage. But the run as a whole is pretty good, and I'm satisfied, very satisfied with this time. So,
Does anyone
actually,
know
I've
if
not
this
played
has
this game, so.
instant kill spear stuff like the others do? I'm guessing not, but he's using his sword.
This one has like a weird combo system. You can use like the shield boomerang and the sword combos, and you can do like 3 life bars of damage against the bosses in one combo.
Wow.
It's a ridiculous game.
This is a really fun series. I really enjoyed the Zero series.
Yeah. This
There's
is
a
the
lot
only
of
one
fun.
that I ever owned. It's a really fun game.
There's a lot more focus on melee than in the other ones, but still not extensively so. But some really fun boss fights in that. Definitely a cool series.
Yeah.
The Zero ones. And it's because how fast paced this is. Good stuff. Cool game.
I hope we get to see a boss fight.
There's one of these is ridiculously short, one of the Zero games, right? Am I thinking correctly?
There's a pretty good example of
Pretty good chance.
how a boss fight
okay.
works.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool series.
Yeah. It's sweet. Congratulations to Kuribon. Well done. Mister. Oh boy. Is there another boss?
It's
Okay,
so
let's go.
ridiculous. Why even bother at that point?
Rotating circles is strong.
Yeah.
Alright, hey, it's a game I know about. This is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. This is the new game hard mode, which basically the only category of this game which is even closely interesting to run. New game plus ones are just a joke, and any difficulty except for hard is also really easy. But this is a 134.10 real time by Kramer. Did he leave a comment? He said, pretty good, messed up some stuff, so I still want to get a better time than this. As you may recall me saying that the other game run was like really improvable, and this is him proving that it's really improvable. There's a lot of cool new strats and that over his last one, and some better execution and that. He still does some really weird things in this run, which I sort of made him aware of and so on. But it's much better than the other one was. It's definitely cool to see where he goes with this, and I'm keen to just steal the strats and see what sort of time I can get.
Is hard mode the hardest mode that there is?
No. There's the hardest mode you can play on a new save, though. You can jiggle some stuff about and play very hard mode or a vengeance mode on that, but they're just sort of not really intended for you to play with that much health. You get one shot by everybody.
You can jiggle some stuff around.
Yeah, I want to see that in progress.
Because there's a cheat that you can do to unlock them on the first playthrough.
Okay.
I guess you could use a full clear save and just do a new game from there, but they're sort of not that fun to do. They're just like really long. I guess it's just the way the enemies just have so much health. So, I mean, yeah, it might be fun though. Maybe I'll see, but not for now. Muppet Race
Speaking
Mania.
of things that are not so fun to do.
Muppet Race Mania got improved 903.04 by Cyberdemon531, who says, got it on stream this time, so you have game audio, Kappa.
Yes.
Joke's on you, we don't have a highlight this week. But good job, at least you're learning. We're glad about that.
Game audio makes me happy.
Yep. New Super Mario Bros. On DS. Lost track of which of these this is, but this is in 5255 by Ace Ventura. Very classy. Was that a typo, or is that actually his name? I don't know.
Sure that's his name.
This is any percent warpless. No comment, but you know. Is this the one that's 3D like Mario 64? Or is this just one of the other ones? Well, that's
no,
Mario
this
3D Land, isn't it?
This is 2D. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 2D.
Alright.
This is the first one that came out.
Oh boy. Speaking of 3D games, though. Nightmare 3D on DOS. That's right. DOS. Somewhere Oasis is really excited and nobody else.
He's got his solid state drives ready.
This is a 121.51 any percent by Orion96, who says this is Nightmare 3D for DOS. It's a broken game with crashes and soft locks. Boy, people are talking. It's cool. This run is pretty unoptimized as I die a few times in the run. I'm hoping for a deathless run in the future. I really hope the quality is good enough. I was worried about it being choppy.
Looks pretty good.
It looks alright.
Well, the quality of the video, the game itself is different.
It's the guy's face. Look at his face.
Yeah. You can't tell if he's healthy or about to die. Should I pick up some health, or are you...
It's like when you're walking out late at night and people are coming out of bars and you have to play that game of, are they young but a drug addict, or are they older than they should be and they've just been out drinking?
Doesn't sound like a fun game.
Yeah,
it's really fun game.
It's usually me that's walking out of the bars, and I play the game called Where Do I Live?
Where Do I Live is a good game. And then there's that other game you get to play when you get to your door, which is Where Are My Keys?
Yeah, that's not so fun of a game.
That's really good, because once you know that most often they're already in the door, that's how you... And not because you put them in there and you forgot, but because you left them in there before you went out. But yeah, it's Nightmare 3D, which is like I guess a Wolfenstein style game.
Yeah.
Catechumen clone, you mean?
Oh, of course. Catechumen clone, that's the one.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Right, there's more. Oh yeah, Cube. This is one of Ethelon's first-person puzzle games. 2835.4, an improvement. The 6-to-1... Yep, that's right. 6-to-1 to 4 was okay, but 6-to-5 was meh. I had shit wire RNG in 6-to-6, and did the fastest teleglitch I've ever done in 6-to-7. I can probably get this down to below 2815 if I stop being the worst. Also, ESA hype. Congratulations.
Is this game going to be an ESA?
It is going to be ESA.
Seems like it.
How nice.
Or he's just really excited and threw that in at the end.
Yeah, just psyched about it in general.
Speaking of games being at ESA, and this game is really cool, and it's the first time we've had it on the show, right?
No.
Actually, no, it's not. That's a lie. But it's Quake by Cool Kid. Shut up, people.
Good effort, though.
Eddie said easy 1330 by Cool Kid, who says, my name's Cool Kid. No, he says farts. This beats my first Deathless run by January by 7 seconds. It's an okay run, but I'd like to get a time below 1320 in game time.
Go watch that run right now.
Yeah, seriously, watching Quake play this game is ridiculous.
He gets criminally low viewer count. Like, I rated him the other day, and he had like 12. He got better. And he was crushing it.
He had a good period of getting 200 odd, but yeah, Cool Kid. Yeah, he did. It was cool. We mentioned it on the show a few times.
Wow.
Cool Kid's cool.
He's back down.
He's a great streamer, and he's one of those like speedrunners who you just ask him about anything, and his answer is, "I don't know, I just like playing video games."
Yeah.
Or if there's drama, he just says, "You guys should just go play video games," which is pretty much the best advice you could ever give.
Yep.
Right? You know.
Yeah, he's a
All right.
monster at this, though.
He's cool.
It's pretty cool to see someone running original Quake.
Right, and for a
Yeah,
game that had
yeah.
such a community back in the day, it's amazing that no one
It
really
hasn't
thought about
really
single segments.
transitioned. Yeah, it
Yeah,
hasn't really transitioned to the Twitch era, I suppose, very well.
Yeah, I guess not.
Really?
Yeah, interesting. Next up, I'm going to pass this to somebody else because the name's not in my document.
I think because you deleted it is
Yeah.
what I would guess.
You like
Did
to
I
click
delete
around
it?
and then stuff disappears.
I don't think I'm
It's
highlighted on
Shenmue,
that
but
blog.
it's not there.
It's our fault for giving you
There.
write access. I mean, we can't blame
Yeah.
you for that. I don't blame the cat for pooping on the floor. So why would I, blame you
Blame
for
the floor for
doing
being
what
in
you're
the
going to
way.
do? Exactly. That's the problem. I blame
Hey,
Google Docs, not you.
Tranquilite. Do you want to tell us about this run, which is really long?
All right, this is Shenmue for Dreamcast, the US version, any percent glitchless, 123654 by Infinite Mystery. I originally wanted to play this just to beat the game again after so many years. I think this run could have been a bit better due to a few bad QTEs and manual fights. I think this can be improved by a few minutes and maybe further with some possible planning. A second Shenmue run is currently being worked on by a collaboration between Frankie Frameskip and myself, so stay tuned.
I'm going to be honest with you, Infinite Mystery. This game is 12 and a half hours long. I'm going to say it can be improved by a bit more than a few minutes.
There's
Just
no
my
chance.
experience
It's
with
like that Kingdom
that
Hearts
sort of
2 100% run.
This
Right,
could
that-
maybe be improved by an hour and a half. I like
just
the
in my
time.
experience.
The time
First-
is like
Yeah.
when you're just making up a time. 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4.
11-5 hours.
No, man, you can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's too obvious. They'll sniff it out.
1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4.
Yeah.
We got it.
But there you go. But good job. I mean, I'm still really jealous of anybody who can do that. But hey, good stuff. Snapshot. This is the cool one. This
This
is the
is
cool
the
one.
one.
Peter.
The other
You like this
games
one?
we've seen have been pretty
Yeah, this
crappy,
one
but this
sucked.
one's
This
the good
one's
one.
the cool one.
Didn't they do a blind race of this?
I don't know. I really don't know. How do I answer that question?
They,
Yes?
Someone has, I'm sure.
Wait, what's Shenmue doing down here?
What?
Wait,
That's
what?
what happened to Shenmue. Somebody moved the box to...
You
if
keep
you scroll
saying
down.
somebody as
You
if
gotta
it's not.
stop clicking stuff.
Dude, I'm not doing anything. All right, just talk about Snapshot. Hurry up.
Oh, that's me, I
Sorry.
guess. Here
Yeah.
we go. Baron Haynes improved the snapshot run down to a 23-22, almost a 22-22, but he's not as cool as, well, I guess it would be half the ring rush, 22-22. Anyways, this is a really cool game. I enjoy watching this. He says 24 seconds off the previous record, thanks in part to a route change in Chapter 4. I think sub 23 is easily possible now, and I'm going to try for that before submitting around to SCA. This run still has a few rough spots I'm not happy about, but I'm hitting the object tosses more consistently, and I'm happy to finally get the IL strat for bouncing away in a record run. I'm starting to practice an all levels route as well, so expect more for this game in the future.
This is cool. I liked that last strat with the
It is
trampolines.
an elephant.
I like everything.
PJ does like everything. He told me that just now.
It's true. Just now.
Just
I heard it from a
Right, you
heard
reliable
it here
source.
first.
In fact, I got it on video. I can
Yeah.
send it to you guys. But yeah, good stuff. This is a cool game. I think we said that every week, but
Yeah. I would play it if it didn't require me to use a mouse. If I could,
Oh.
replace the mouse with a Super Nintendo controller, I'd probably play it.
yeah, did this run, keyboard and SNES pad.
Atari 5200 joystick and SNES mouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why would you make the character crouch there? That's mean. Alright. Oh boy.
Hey, none of that.
It was so late.
None
I'm
of
so
that.
tired.
None of that. You can't say we started late. It was like 4 minutes.
I didn't say we started late. I said it is late.
Oh. Well, you need to
Boy, oh boy.
shut your mouth.
Speaking of shutting my mouth and talking, it's Spanky's Quest. Now, we're talking about it, by FF Gamer 86, 80% 2416. And he says, very solid run with small mistakes near the middle later sections. The mission goal is sub 24 looks like high chance in the near future. Good stuff. Oh boy, more games with highlights. There's loads of these. Oh my goodness. Well, let's go.
But it's by
Starguard.
Twinge. It's your favorite guy.
Yeah, he's got a cool name. Hey, Fiesel,
Hey.
talk about Starguard.
Alrighty. This game looked pretty neat. Not something I've played, but it was definitely pretty entertaining to watch. So Starguard, any percent run in 950 by Twinge, who you may remember because he was on SGL a few weeks ago playing Zero, if I remember correctly. And this game is, oh man, I don't even, like this, it's whatever kind of style like VVVVVV is in, I would say. It's like whether you said it was what, Commodore 64 or something that it was trying to emulate, but it's definitely that, like what it's going for, or it may actually be a very old PC game, but I kind of think that this is meant to be a throwback.
Yeah, I feel like this is an indie game.
Yeah, exactly. But, so he's got a comment here. Been running this on and off for a while. Finally got a run that I'm happy enough with to submit, beating Crystal Chaos's time by several seconds. Still plenty of room for improvement with many minor mistakes and 2 big mistakes. This is a free Flash game that's a lot of fun to play and easy to learn. Also a #blind favorite. So it's I've got a link where you can download it, which I'll paste in the chat because it does look pretty neat. I might give this a play at some point if I'm looking for random PC games.
Sweet, yeah.
You say that, but you're just going to pick up another NES game off the shelf.
That's how it goes. Like from out of nowhere, out of the blue, it just comes off the shelf.
What shall I do while I'm waiting for this file to download?
Exactly.
Oh, hey.
Let's play Willow.
Yep. 2
Hey,
days
let's
later
ask
when you
PJ
go
what
back to your
games are at the
computer.
Fiesel store.
What did I download here? Oh well. I'll just delete that.
Make some more room for NES emulators. ROMs. Looks cool, I like the tiny man.
Yeah.
The tiny man.
The wizard has been defeated.
Oh yeah. Victory.
Cool.
Wizard has been defeated.
Hey, this is Summon Night, Swordcraft Story 2. In 3 minutes 29 by Wu King Long. That's that guy from before, I remember him. He says, after the original Swordcraft story, I decided to take a stab, or, oh wait, that wasn't even the pun. Whatever.
This might not be 3 minutes 29 seconds, by the way.
Oh, it might be
I think
3
you're-
hours 29. It's alright.
It seemed a little bit longer than 3 minutes, if I remember.
Sorry, can I get to the pun?
Okay,
It
we're ready
was,
for it.
I
though.
decided to take a stab, or fist, if you will, at the much improved sequel. Much how the first installment was about punching things with a drill, right? This game is about literally punching things. Oh, that's okay then. AI manipulation still abounds, but it is much more difficult compared to its predecessor. Overall, it's slightly longer, but more enjoyable run.
Plus
See?
fishing.
Plus-
Fish on!
Yeah, literally you can fish. Hey, speaking of Super Metroid, whoa, wait, that's a new name for that thing. And that's a new name for that thing. Boy, oh boy, are those names the right way around?
Yes.
What? And yes.
Yes, it's Super Metroid. We got 2 Super Metroid things. That's some intense fishing.
Yeah.
But, so the any percent in 45-46 was beaten by Zost. Normally the guy does low percent.
Normally
And
the
the
guy who
low
does everything.
percent
He does
was
everything.
beaten by
Yeah.
top power. Shut up. Shut up, alright? I'm trying to make this sound
Trying to make
exciting and
ironies out of
interesting.
nothing, but
And he's just shitting over everything. Just ruining it all.
Everybody
I was
needs
gonna
a
say
hobby.
about how like Zost got this record, but Cop Power got his record, and it's
And
like all
instead you
crazy and
blew it.
exciting. Instead, you just fucking ruined it.
show
You
cancer.
guys would suck in WWE. You'd be awful. God. All right. Anybody wants to be on the show, you PJ and Beezel.
We have 2 openings now.
Duckfist and Flecky.
Definitely our best Super Metroid comment ever. I mean, our commentary is just...
Zoe says, this run went really well except for the bosses where I had some mistakes and bad luck. An ideal Fantoon and Dragon would have saved almost 30 seconds. I'm really proud of taking this record from Cop Power because I hate Swedish people and they suck, especially at any percent. Oh my goodness.
Wow, I can't believe you wrote that. That's
Super Metroid low percent 5734 by Cop Power. He's got a comment here saying, "Man, I'm so glad those Yankees can't play Metroid because I just stole this low percent time right from under their noses. Sweden rules. Go Sweden." Wow.
I forgot that's what they totally wrote.
This is crazy, especially when you consider they took each other's records like this.
That's what's in the blank spot of the comments. It's actually hidden there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So that's cool stuff there from the Super Metroid guys. We're keen to see what comes out of that one. So yeah.
On a more serious note, this is the first sub 46 ever.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this is an absolutely ridiculous time.
Sub 46 by a long shot too.
Yeah. He absolutely stomped this game. I think he has to buy a new cart because that one's still smoking.
Hey, do you guys remember when Hotter Ruby was a really good time?
I don't know who that is. You mean Tonkatsu Meat Department?
Yeah, that guy. Pork Cutler Department.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous that he says he can still save 30 seconds just from boss RNG. Like, this time I didn't even know was remotely possible.
What's his game time?
Well, didn't he miss first phase? Fantoon, like, completely?
Probably. I think he did.
I think someone said that.
30 minutes. Dang.
Yeah.
Alright. The Great Circus Mystery, any percent easy, 2139 by Alicon. Wait, I need to see if there's a comment. He said, pretty good run overall. Yeah, good stuff.
Great Circus Mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we got a bunch of Legend of Zelda this week. Loads. To make up for the not loads of Legend of Zelda, we now have loads of Legend of Zelda. 257.03 All Masks by Gorangai and Majora's Mask. He said, pretty solid. Hey, guess what, guys? Enop improved the NE percent. Can you believe that?
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. Which is why we're going to skip
it was really bad.
We're going to skip
That's what he said. Really getting closer to 135, but still not close to a good run. Yeah, 136.37 by Enop. Paradreamer, or Dreamer, I'm going to go with Dreamer, said, sorry, he didn't say that. He got the Oracle of Ages improvement in 239.54. He says, overall pretty good run. Old time was 241.42. A new route manipulating a ring additionally to potion and rupees allows for a new small key skip in Dungeon 5. Overall saving about 25 to 30 seconds. Play was really good in the later parts, some mistakes in the early and middle parts, but one can't have everything. RNG was decent except for a big 50-second time loss when getting the boss key for level 6, which is sadly pure RNG. I'm happy with this run for now, but knowing me, I'll be back at OAA eventually.
From what I remember, I think this run almost had a parents interruption as well, similar to Enop's last week.
I don't know why people can't just do what I did when my parents would bug me and say, "Oh, I'm doing something important."
I'm doing a speed run.
Yeah, like I
I'll do it later, Mom.
Right. Why wouldn't you just plan around this? Like,
So,
I don't know.
Chat has graciously informed us there's a new Ocarina of Time any percent, which is ridiculous. This has stood for like a long time, like 8 months or something. So Pydoix beat his old 2115, and it's now 2107.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. That's really impressive.
Dang.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting really tired. Someone want to do Phantom Hourglass for me? We're almost there.
Well, let's do it. All right. Got Phantom Hourglass. This is PAL version, any percent with resets. So 329.40 is what Greenlink got on this. He says this was a pretty recent submission here, or I mean, I think he just submitted it yesterday. I was having a small break on the speedrunning games that are hours long to complete, and I forgot to mention this run as it was done back in April. After the 334 run, I kept on trying to beat the game even faster, down to sub 330. The run is still improvable by a couple of minutes, including fixing trivial mistakes that cost a good amount of time, and getting better luck overall. The video you see here shows a boss that is actually very hard to kill without losing time. A really good fight can save over 30 seconds faster than average. 2 reasons why I'm using English text. 1, the text speed is actually very fast, and 2, there's a quiz section that is mandatory to complete the game. Oh, so he doesn't want to just memorize all the
Yeah, you're not
answers
going
to
at
Japanese
Cypher
questions?
style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fast English text. Huh?
Don't believe it.
Well, you know it when I see it. Believe it then. What is
It's
this
also
about?
quite nice to play a game in a language you understand.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy it. Usually the text says something interesting or funny. I like that boss strat, he's just tanking every shot.
Mm-hmm.
This is funky. He's shooting the windfish.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess while we're here, the Twilight Princess... I have a feeling that the single segment also got improved. Or was that last week?
I think it was
But,
last week when
Yeah, I think so.
Demon
okay.
improved 100% with the new route.
So, 100% segmented in 8, 15, 20... Isn't this sure longer than the actual
It
single?
is longer, but it's the Wii version, so you don't have the boomerang jump, which saves about an hour and a half and 100%.
Oh, okay. Right, okay then. It says, I only own the Wii version when I started the game. I've wanted to do 100% for a long time. It's my first speedrun. It took 3.5 months to do, and I'm happy. Now I'm working on learning it to 50%. There you go. Thank you. Glad you're here. Your reward is to talk about this next game.
Alright, so Thomas Was Alone, which is another PC indie game. Full game in 5630 by J-Motion. He says, began running again after a new runner named Quinty beat my old time. We shared some of our different strats, and I was able to put this run together, which is a 2-minute improvement on the old record. Give him a watch as he tries to take it back, and hopefully we'll get some runners to race from the new Humble Bundle. That's right. If you are interested in running this, it is currently in the Humble Bundle. That is right now. There's also Hotline Miami and a couple other games that are definitely worth picking up.
Hotline Miami's not?
Yeah, it's the beat the average game.
Nice.
This means like $7 normally.
I think it's like $5 right now.
Oh.
I don't know.
I guess the people on Humble Bundles are getting cheaper and cheaper.
But yeah, Thomas is Alone is actually a pretty good game. And Hotline Miami is... I mean, if you're interested in either of those games, definitely check out the Humble Indie Bundle. It's always interesting to watch these runs.
I can't tell if Thomas is a block or if it's actually like a human. Oh no, we've had this one. So he's a rectangle.
Yep.
Ooh.
All this cooperation between geometric shapes.
It's really what gets me going.
Oh, look, spikes.
I swear this is a level from V. Doesn't this look
Yeah, I
like...
was gonna say. How is he just running on that rope? He should be flipping.
Should be bouncing. Like
Yeah.
a cheater.
Kids his age bounce.
Such a terrible room.
Oh, what's he doing? He got stuck.
Don't you worry about him.
Okay.
Yeah, this game has really weird physics with moving platforms. If you jump against like a moving platform, you'll just stick to it until the platform stops moving.
That is weird. You're right. That doesn't happen in real life, at least not in my knowledge. Normally, I just speed up when I hit it.
Newton's seventh law.
All right, Toy Story 2 on the N64, which
Huh.
I think we got pretty far, and actually, no, we did have DK64. Wait, never mind. My bad. Passive Bob-omb has a 2925, and he wrote a little thing. He says, mute the video if you haven't already. It's quite loud, and I sound retarded. Please read on stream. I'm glad you put the please read on stream after the thing I read. It's like, come on, put it before. We've advertised people write a huge comment at the end said, don't read this. Put it at the front, and then I won't read it.
You gotta scan these things before you start reading it. That's the
Hell
trick.
no, I won't. I won't do that.
Nope.
Way too much work. Okay.
This is almost the fastest run possible of the game. There is about 20 seconds remaining to be saved without a new trick or glitch being found. The glitch that has previously been claimed to be emulator only is able to be done on version 1.0 of the game. That's NUS-NSME-USA-0 for those of you interested, though it's nearly impossible to find, so runs are usually done on an emulator. There you go. Good stuff. And then PJ wanted to talk about this one because he loves the name so much.
Oh, of course. This is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Any percent single segment with resets by Honorable J. He had a 1 hour, 3 minute, 46 second run. Comparing the final time to Lurk-chan's run, I'm only 40 seconds ahead, but I blame that on my own stupidity and massive trolling in the final temple sequence. The biggest difference, though, is in the styles. We both... Wow, that's... Huh. Alright, so the biggest difference, though, is in the styles that we both run the game, I'll assume. Lurk-chan is minimalistic with tricks and precise with execution, while I'm really heavy with the tricks and so-so with the execution. I'm nowhere near done with the game. My goal time is as close to 55 minutes as possible. Wow. If Lurk-chan ever learns how to do proper bunny hopping, then I'm fucked.
So it's close to 55 minutes as possible. So when he gets to 55, he's like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
Right.
Or if he gets
farther away from it.
54.50, he's going to be like,
really
no.
Then he's got to slow down before the finish line.
It's too far away.
Yeah.
All right. And then our Vs. Hey, Fiery Vs.
Yep. So the first one is any percent no def mode, which means I do the Gravitron. This is in 14 minutes. The old record was 14:05. And this run I actually don't do anything really too fast, and I'm really shocked. Not only that I actually made it through, because this was at the end of a 100% stream, where I was just like, I want to go to sleep. I don't want to end on 100% mode. So I just did a no def mode just randomly. I wasn't expecting to actually get anywhere into the game, and I ended up beating the record by 5 seconds, despite going slower in a lot of rooms. So I'm very surprised. I wasn't even recording this, and I still don't have any intentions of really seriously improving no def mode.
I'm like the other as a comment, by the way.
Yeah,
I like when they do that. And
then the 100% run, which is what's the focus of this week and will be the focus until I finish this game. 1731, which you saw earlier. 2 deaths in it, both in trench warfare. I'll be done with this category whenever I do deathless.
It's not what the comment says.
Yeah, the comment says this isn't Pokemon PJ. It's just kind of an inside joke because PJ came into my stream and just mentioned it wasn't Pokemon.
He does that with everything, though.
I do that with my
He goes
stream.
into pubs and bars or whatever and order a drink in order to be like, this isn't Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I'll sit at a chair. This isn't Pokemon either. And it's just his thing.
Right, and then finally one day it actually will be Pokemon, and he'll be just completely wrong. Everyone will be like, what are you talking about? Of course it's Pokemon.
Then my journey is complete.
Yeah, like I said, 100% had 2 deaths, and I had a bunch of runs this week that had 2 or 3 deaths. I got 6 1740s this weekend. I got 2 1738s. I got 2 1731s. Multiple of them with just 2 deaths in random places. So eventually, it will get to the point where there are no unintentional deaths, and it will probably be around the 1722 or something like that when it actually happens. So, and then this game will be done from my standpoint.
All right, cool. Hey, speaking of being done, that was all the records.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
We did it.
We're merely segueing out of stuff. That was quite a bumper crop of records this week, and we did a VVV episode. I can't believe it. We actually did it. Just to say, we went over the news already, so that's all good. You guys need to find someone to raid, and we would like to ask our two guests, Fiery and Tranquilite, if they have any shout-outs or anything they would like to, promote while they're here.
So, first off, one of the records that didn't make it in this week, Demon 9's Wind Waker run in 4:34:09, so beating Cosmo by 2 minutes.
Wow.
I'm surprised that wasn't submitted, or I guess it was, and just didn't get on there. That was, I guess, the one comment I have.
Okay.
I've got nothing.
You got nothing? Okay, good. Nice and simple. Just to remind you, as it would be horribly rude of me not to, next week, PJ at Feasible Duckfist Mecha Richter's Marathon starts Friday at noon EST, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Runs all the time. Lots of cool things. Lots of cool other stuff. Yep. Also, to remind you, we'll be running some ads just when the stream's over. So if you could, leave that open, that would be great. This week's Twitter question was a very simple one of how would you get your friend into speedruns. Turns out, show them a good speedrun was pretty much the general consensus of how to do it. So, guess I shouldn't have been surprised. Funnily enough, the way I got into speedrunning, exactly the same way people would get their friends into speedrunning. Also, next week is going to be Rosenkreuz Deletta is the game next week, which I sort of tried to translate and it still didn't make much sense to me. I figured out what Rosenkreuz was, which it was a dude, and there's this whole thing called Rosicrucianism, which I found out about, but as far as I'm aware, Stiletta just means stilettos, so I still haven't got a clue what it is. But that's going to be with, correct me if I got this wrong, BJW and Hack Spam, right?
It sounds
that's
right.
the plan, yes. That's what we've got.
Plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that is our first, ROM hack type sort of, well, it's not really a ROM hack, is it? It's a fan game, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah.
And then after that will be a records episode.
It's Records Week, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which we haven't guaranteed. We got a few ideas of who to put on the show, but we haven't got it set yet. I think that's all. Is that everything? Am I missing anything?
I think we
Check out SGL this Thursday. Is that on this Thursday?
Oh, yeah, it's on this Thursday. We're doing Gremlins 2.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
this is going to be a good one.
Cool,
Yep.
Good stuff. That's this Thursday. We would like to thank once again Fiery and Tranquilite. We finally did it, guys. How do you feel?
PJ, is your computer going to crash in the next 2 seconds?
No, yours is, though.
Oh, damn.
My computer only blue screened once at the beginning of the episode, but I had another computer ready just in case.
They're disposable. Just pull one off the shelf.
Yeah.
Plug it in.
But
We came prepared.
we finally did it about, I think it's like 8 months after we originally intended.
No, it's 10 months. We were
10
gonna do
months,
it in
so they 10 months then. But hey, it's good. We finally did it. Check out Rosenkreuz letter next week. And do we have our raid person? Oh, check out some ads.
I believe so.
We need something to say to them as well. Remember?
Oh God.
Do we?
Yeah.
I'm bad at this. Don't pick me.
You should just spam V.
V, yeah,
Yeah,
spam
that's-
Vs. The more
Lots of
Vs, the better.
Yeah.
So who's going to raid? I think we got it there.
Yep, I think so. We're gonna raid Used Pizza. He's doing some Mega Man 10s.
Doing some Mega Man 10s. Oh boy.
Yes.
As many Vs as possible that you can get in there. And
Yep.
please help us out and watch a couple of ads once the show's done. Thanks very much, everybody. VVV has been completed. We'll see you guys next week for Rosenkreuz Deletta.
See you guys.
Ooh.
Bye bye.
I appreciate our audience
You're
like a
scaring away
high
all our
schooler
fans.
appreciates Southern comfort.